And in that way, every single one of us can be and is an artist. And there's no questioning that. A very special Christmas episode of Left Past 10 starts right now. Look, whether it's special or not, I may have been inaccurate on that point. It does start now.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it start in 1 more minute?
Andrea, it's 10 p.m. Eastern exactly. So I think you mean, shouldn't it start in 1 more second? I think you were like, we should wait 1 more second because this feels wrong. Oh, hold on. Sorry, real quick. Do me a favor.
No.
You guys hear me okay?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Don't talk during this part because it ruins the whole damn intro when we talk over it. So just
I love your scarf, by the way.
Oh, I'm
thanks.
glad you mentioned it first because
Wonderful.
what the hell? First of all, did you get a haircut? What is that?
I did get a haircut, yes.
You look handsome.
The whole thing. You
You
look
know-
like a fucking college little
You know
trust fund
why-
baby going into fucking Yale for the first time.
You
in
know why I
fucking-
got a haircut?
No,
Because
I
I don't cut it myself.
Okay.
I don't follow.
I got a haircut.
Oh, wait, now
because
I got it.
otherwise I
Damn
would
it.
have cut my hair.
Mm.
This is my look. I was like, okay, I could wear a tie and a cardigan. I could do the Clark Griswold thing, or I could do like the Christopher Robin thing, which is easier because I could still go out
Well-
in public and not look like I was at church.
Mm.
I don't know. Were you sinning?
But yeah, I mean, look, it's amazing for people to be like, you're looking good. You look so young. Just let your hair grow without any upkeep or anything for like a year and then cut it. And people
get
will be
real
like, time
depressed.
machine.
You look older though. Like this is like midlife crisis territory. Is what?
Oh,
I'm saying.
really?
Yeah. You're trying.
I
to
got a
reach after lot.
standard tapered side part and I'm not really brushing it. And what midlife crisis? This
Well,
looks
it's
like a
the
boy
it's
band
the
haircut
hair
to you?
plus whatever the fuck this is. This
It's
whole,
my Christmas. I'm just doing Christmas.
That's not Christmas. That's like
I'm a Christmas caroler.
$300,000 to be here. Energy.
This scarf has a hole where one of my dogs chewed it up. It's at least 35 years old.
Okay.
Oh, you think this looks expensive?
No, it looks very cheap. It's just that the whole thing's it gives off this energy as if you
I look
think
like
you're more important than you actually are.
I look like I'm just
the
leaving
haircut goes a long way too. Like
I'm
it's
leaving
not
my
one
law
that if
class.
you only had one, it wouldn't be that bad. But the fact that you have both the hair and this, it's really
I'm
concerning.
leaving my law class. I'm late for philosophy. I just dropped my economics thesis.
Yep, and the
And-
wig just picked up, and now it's everywhere.
And when I graduate, I'm going to be a poet. So all
You're
this
still ambitious. You're planning on
wasted-
being poet laureate, but you know.
Oh yeah. Well, my father was, so I'm a shoo-in. Nepotism.
Andrea, what are we working with here for holiday outfits? It looks like we got a blanket.
I'm cold.
Fair enough.
That
You tend to
is
make everything look cool. You're why grunge became a fashion. Kurt Cobain made it look cool, and then we all tried to copy him, and it didn't work out.
Andrea had this sick beatnik thing going on during her show today. I was watching
What
it
was
like,
that?
yes. It looked like black turtleneck and yeah, it looked very beatnik. It was probably exactly what you have on now, but the lighting was different.
This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice. Turtles
High
in a
on
half
life.
shell or heroes
I
in a
love
half
it.
shell.
Yeah.
High on life.
This is Beatnik? Is that what this is? This is
No.
Beatnik?
Oh yeah, you've got a
mean-
shirt with artists on it.
Hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I stole my nephew's sweater. This belongs to my nephew.
It looks like it doesn't fit you, so that makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't really.
Very tight.
It's very baggy in the arms and very tight around the stomach.
I noticed that earlier. Yeah, like when you were doing a wide shot.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm loving
This is why
these.
I have like 5 pairs of clothes, and I accumulate some over time. This is actually a new addition. But
Christmas card model.
It's horrible. It's really it's really terrible. The whole thing.
Come on. It's just a haircut. This is what my hair looked like for the majority of the time you've known me.
Yeah, I know. It looked terrible. I thought you were finally getting over that phase of your life. I thought you'd finally learned a thing or two. And
I love that getting a haircut is midlife crisis. Like,
I haven't gotten a haircut in literally.
Dude, you're obviously falling apart. You went to a barber this week?
In 11 years. I haven't taken scissor to my hair in 11 years. So
I went to a barber and the entire building was gone. And I was like, oh, yeah, it has been a while. They knocked the building down. So then I went to the only other all men's barber in town because I'm in a bad place for
all men
haircuts.
You're not going to get a woman to cut your hair. No, sorry.
No, they have female barbers, but they only do men's hair.
They only do men's hair, right? So the women are allowed to work.
I'm just saying,
but the women are not allowed to actually get the haircut. That's a little.
Unless
too much
you want
for South Carolina. That's they're still not up to that part yet. So it's all men.
Yeah. What do you want to pay them equally next?
Correct.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So the reason why I never went to this place is because they don't have a phone number. And they're never open.
Yep.
But when they are open, they're open from 7 to 7, which is most people are open like 9 to 3. So
that's not bad.
So I went there and I was like, they're not going to be open, but it was close to where the building. So I drive to the building, it's knocked down. I was like, fuck. So I drive, but not a big loss because the haircut wasn't that great anyway. So I go over to this other place, handwritten sign, maybe open this afternoon, check back. And I was like, check back? You don't have a phone number. I'm supposed to keep driving over here.
I like, and just on the off chance that they'll be open, like they're not actually sure,
Incredible. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go wherever's open because I've decided to get a haircut and I've been driving around. And I had to get out of the house for a while. So I go to this, I don't even remember the name. It's just like a generic chain. And I was like, I'm just getting a haircut, and the lady they said, okay, she'll take you back. And I was like, oh,
was it
cool.
all
I didn't have
men's,
to wait
though?
or anything.
Were
No.
there any women present?
There was all female barbers and lots of people were getting their haircut. So
all female. So they're working on you then. So they're in the lower rungs.
So she took me right back and she said, what are we doing? I was like, I don't know, but you can't disappoint me. And she was like, I can't. I was like, is it obvious? So I was like, you can't disappoint me.
You can only go up from here.
I was like, I don't want like one of these military cuts that I always seem to get where they just get out the clippers right away. I want something layered that I can comb or not.
This is like that episode of Leave It to Beaver where the fucking grandma cuts little Beaver's hair. That's what the energy here is. It's very striking.
So then she's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, you do though. I was like, I always ask for a tapered side part and I never get it. So can you help me? And I just sort of brush my hair with my hand. So
I'm going to be honest. What the fuck is a tapered side part? I don't
tapered
know
means shorter
enough
to
even
lower
begin to create that language.
And it tapers down probably to nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the hairs are longer up here, shorter until they're just stubble by your cheeks. That's the taper.
So a side part
similar to
part on the side.
What would be my hairstyle? What would you describe this with your wide vernacular?
Long hair. A barber would say long hair. You would charge you extra.
Extra? Well, they wouldn't charge me anything because
there's work to be done.
Joan Jett, circa 1988.
Joan Jett?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why
88? 87 maybe, you think? Or just strictly 88?
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Now that I got a haircut, I'm thinking about all these other life choices. I've just been throwing everything away.
Yeah, you've just been, spending all of your life savings on comic books all of a sudden,
Is it hot in here?
You decided to just, quit your career working in snow things.
Wait, you didn't throw out
nice, you know.
The hair,
You know,
surely.
you're really.
I kept it with all my discarded fingernails
Yeah, and a bowl.
in a jar.
Yeah, okay.
I keep a giant bag full of Max's hair so that eventually I'll have enough hair to create a second Max. And then
I've done that as well. Creepily, I will smell my dead dog's hair from time to time.
That's not creepy. You gotta keep it in a Ziploc so that the fumes persist over time.
Yeah.
And then every time you open it, it's a limited can. You know, you gotta open it, get a sniff, close it right away. You know, I do this and Max is still alive. I do this.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I'm developing the habit early.
We're acclimating my dog to the rest of the house, our new dog.
New dog.
And so it's like 70 something today. So I was sitting in the
it's 70 something. What is that even?
crazy? It's like very warm outside. So I had the front
temperature.
door open and we were sitting in the front room and we are just sort of like, see, there's a porch and there's a yard and we're upstairs, but there's outside. We can go in and out all these doors. And so then she wanted to go outside. I had her on the leash the whole time. So we went around the side of the house she hasn't been on yet. She's very skittish. So we're walking around. She just nose to the ground. And when she gets to her kennel, she starts sniffing and she's like, oh, I know where I am. Like you could see the recognition. And she looked up and she saw the steps to go up to the deck and then into the dining room. And she was like, ooh, and still on the leash, runs over there, up the steps, goes in the house and is looking at my wife and our other dog like, I figured it out.
Her other dog. That's an interesting choice of
Our other dog.
Our other dog is what I said.
Oh,
Jeez, look, Andrea, are we going to sit here all night where you try and find a flaw with where it does not exist?
No, I'm just curious. I don't know.
Like those are failed relationships. If you didn't know, these are the sorts of relationships that one party will back away from and say, you know what? This isn't working.
I don't know.
Me.
Like, let me give you my perspective.
Like your haircut looks like a midlife crisis.
Screen, you know?
Not a nice thing to say. And then cherry picking every word, every other word that I say as something negative is
all.
That is what's negative.
I apologize.
I want to play War on Christmas 4, by the by.
Do it.
Not the first three. The first three, you can skip them.
Well, because it's the newest one. I'm not gonna declare that I'm gonna do a stream because every time I do that, it's embarrassing because it doesn't work and I look like
that's
I'm
true.
older.
You played the first one. I think I saw the first couple levels were streamed, and then there was then it was just your face for a while. But that was a good show. I really enjoyed that one.
Can we play now?
Well, I'm going to download it after this and try to install it.
See, now,
that one is good though.
Now, when Andrea gives a compliment, it's because something went wrong.
Yes.
So, like, just so the viewers know, whenever we're off air and Andrea goes, "That was a good show," I know I should probably unlist it and turn off monetization.
I like the terrible shows. When the show is going smoothly and everything's great, I feel like I'm out of place. I have imposter syndrome. But when the show is a train wreck, I feel like, oh, great, I belong here.
When it's an entertaining train wreck, I feel the same way. As long as it's interesting, you know?
Yeah.
I like my
But here's the problem. If I recall correctly, the camera was just locked on my face and my mic was off for a good long time. So most of the stream was just like nightmare.
Those are really good streams. I like that one where you tried to speak, but it was terrible, and you just sat there like a Renaissance man. That was a really good.
Actually, I did like that. You guys, you pulled off an entertaining podcast.
Jake, do you know about this mug that says "my butt"?
I don't.
So I can put my butt on screen at any time.
I
just set my butt on the desk. I was just drinking out of my butt, and when it's empty, I'll have to clean my butt. But for now, it's full.
This is one hell of a.
This is my wife got me
temperature
this for my
wise.
birthday.
How's your butt doing?
It's freezing cold.
Fair.
And filled with juice.
Oh.
This The
Just
mug,
so we know, I the things that I've said on today's show pale in comparison to whatever.
the
just
mug
happened.
might be
True.
a sign of a midlife crisis, actually.
Well, what's the size of the mug is also a little
That's-
concerning. It's
look
a
at the-
it's a
look
large.
at the other one.
Whoa, what is that? Does that say anything, or is it just big and empty?
Big
my
blue
soul?
mug. I told my wife, I was like, all of our large mugs are not for me. Our
Mm,
larger size mugs, I don't like them. I was like, I need like a decent large mug that I know is mine.
mm. You need like one that's yours. You don't like sharing?
I just want 2 cups of coffee at once.
Are they different roasts, different types of coffee, or is it just like one's from 3 days ago, one's from this morning?
Here's something other married people will realize. Sharing something just means you're going to be one person is going to criticize the other for how they're using the shared object. So you have to maintain your individuality. You have to have your own shit.
I don't think
Because then I don't have people saying, Matt, please don't do this with our shared coffee mug. It's just my mug. I'll do whatever I want. This is the thing. People look at marriage. It's like it's like scuba diving.
it's
You're
like
you're underwater, so that's like you're in a
Right.
intense environment. There's dynamics you have to account for. It's not always safe. You're gonna have to work together, right? Somebody
Mhm.
may be in better shape than the other, and you got to help them out. Sometimes you're equally strong and ready, and your equipment's working great, and everything's perfect. But you can't count on that.
No.
That's my marriage analogy. I think most people who get married, whether they quickly realize this isn't the case or it ends up being like the reason why the marriage ends in divorce, people think that, okay, yeah, scuba diving, I get it, but we share a breathing apparatus, right? No,
Mm.
you each have your own life. You're
Mm.
each in control of your own personal well-being. You help and assist and you're partners, but like you are you and I am me. And that's the only way like a true like marriage or union works, in my
That's
opinion. But I
right.
think a lot of people go into it thinking we have
a
to both
little
breathe
life
out of
advice
one thing.
column.
And it's like you're putting too much pressure and stress and undue, unneeded bullshit on this. You know, and because then the other person's like, you're using too much air. It's like, oh, Jesus. Okay,
you
I
can
just
wait
want my own breathing apparatus. And they'll be like, you do? Why? And it's like, cause you're doing it wrong. I'm just waiting for somebody to interrupt me. I can go on with
I'm
this.
intently listening about
And then there's a
life
shark.
advice column. I'm like, we should start getting people to write in, turn this
The
into
marriage shark.
one of
Yes,
those,
you
you
write
know, those
in.
shows where people talk about their life problems or whatever to some like 60-year-old guy in a studio, and like that's what this show is.
60.
Well, I'm not talking about you.
Oh,
You're
not me.
getting
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, you're going to grow into it at some point. You're going to get there.
Oh,
Like a
well,
good
okay. For a
100%.
second, I thought that maybe you weren't criticizing me for a moment, but you are. You're just
No.
future me. I get it. No,
For
that's fine.
you. Yeah, if there's any consolation, I criticize myself every second of the day. So I gotta shift the radar dish once in a while.
Look how my marriage analogy got an all new unmodded person to chime in. I love it.
Nice.
See, this is
All
content
new.
that people engage with.
Yeah,
So.
it's true. They love engaging with this content.
Alaro, you are our newest moderator. Somebody please
Oh,
explain.
that's fantastic news. That is fantastic news.
Oh.
My wife's gonna be like, "What did Andrea and Jake think of your haircut?" And I'll be like, "Jake liked it. Andrea identified my midlife crisis."
Oh well,
which
I
is
mean, it's a
happening at
good
51.
haircut if that's what you're going for. You know, it's like you're like going to the Harry Potter fan club. I don't, you know, and that's
Nobody would look at it and go, "Ooh, what happened?" Because I've had the worst haircuts and nobody did that.
I just like whatever you think the normal person would do, I flip it.
Here,
That's what I do.
where I am, it's not normal. There's a guy who will brush your hair in such an abusive manner that a couple of days later you'll be like, I can feel the brush. It is insane.
That's
This
why
guy
I only
plays.
brush my hair once a month or two.
He plays Newsmax, and he sit there with the brush, and you're like, "Damn, dude." My father-in-law stopped going to him, and I was like, "Why'd you stop going?" He goes, "He's too rough with the brush." And I was like, "Okay, this makes me think we should bring it up because I feel the same way. We can't be the only ones." And so I went to look at like the reviews online, and they were all really positive. And I was like, this is one of those things where it gives you a discount if you leave a positive review or something, right?
It's all a conspiracy.
And
I
so
thought you were gonna say they were like a wall of rough with the brush.
that's what I was expecting.
Huh.
But then the last time I was in there, his assistant took me instead. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Right.
This fucking troll. So yeah, a troll. You know, I said, "Hey, are you aware of your glowing reviews on Yelp or whatever it was?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't look at that." And I was like, "You have the best reviews and the most reviews out of any barber in this town." And they're like, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like that should matter." You know what I mean? Like, you might not be
We live
like
in a
bragging
world
about
where-
it, but
Where Yelp is a very important metric of
no, I'm just
success.
saying they don't care about the feedback at all.
That's
so, like,
how I
if they
feel.
don't,
I understand that. They pride themselves on the quality of their work, you know, and
well,
nothing
but
else.
this is my point: is if they don't care about the positive feedback, they wouldn't care about a bunch of people saying too rough with the brush.
Oh no, for sure.
Oh yeah, you can tell them. You can say like, "Hey, you don't know what the fuck you're doing."
So
And I think all of these people are wrong, actually.
I was driving an hour, like sometimes an hour and 15 minutes one way for a haircut, and it was great. They
Why?
would give you a bourbon. There, I mean, it
Okay.
was like a 45-minute pleasurable experience. It was amazing. It was really fun, but it's too far, and it
You
was
ever
like
think
75
about
bucks.
the homoeroticism of like the male on male barber with the massage scalp and
No.
That I'm pretty sure that's like a trope.
the close shave, you
A
know, I don't know. I just
pornography
find the whole
trope.
thing to just be very, very sexual energy just everywhere with that kind of
Fucking
stuff.
A, that's awesome.
Strangely enough,
You know-
I find it to be one of the most asexual places. Isn't that strange?
Really?
Yeah.
That might say a lot about your feelings on many things.
Could be.
Hmm.
I used to have a barber named Mr. Meyer, and he
Mister, so
cut.
he's like 40 years older than you?
Yeah, it was 40. You think he's his son? No, he was much older. Much
Right,
older.
okay, I see.
And I went to his barber shop from the time in which I was playing with the toys he kept in the corner all the way up to like leaving for college. And then he died. And ever since then, when I either just buzz my hair every couple of months, or I'll go to a cost cutters with the same attitude that you go to like a prostitute after your wife died, you know?
You just couldn't recover. Yeah, I see. You could,
Yeah.
It's never the same. You don't even want to even try because you're setting yourself up for failure by even trying. So you just resign to a fate of something worse than death. The
And,
fate
you know,
of
some
someone
people
who's just given up.
some people only have it in them to care for one barber in their life.
I get
Romantic maybe, but not sexual.
that. I get that.
That's
I mean, the way our appearance means a lot to us.
I would never let anyone alter my appearance under any circumstance. I just could not see just a barber.
Yeah, and you're not
tattoo,
alone. I
or I
mean-
would tattoo myself before I let someone else tattoo me.
Interesting.
But it's something about like thinking about barbers as being erotic gives new meaning to rough brush treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, I
starting
mean,
to make me
I don't do that whole
like,
thing.
what was
So
he
to me,
really
I
up
just look at it
to?
and see it as a weird thing that humans do.
But okay, this is crazy talk. But what isn't? I was thinking. I was recently talking to somebody, and they were like joking around about old man porn, and I was like, "Oh, what?" And they were like, "Oh, dude, it's a thing," and I was like, "Wait." So you know me, I just went into hold on a second moment where I said,
Is that in the Epstein files?
I said, so I'm I said, so what you're telling me is I'm in my 80s. I'm a widower. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe my wife has got fed up and left me. I'm single. I'm in my 80s. Whether through natural means
I
or
can think of worse places to be
chemical
than in your 80s.
assistance, I can get into that industry. And the guy was laughing, and I was like, I'm asking you, is this what you mean by that? Like, that's a real thing?
There's
And he
a
goes, I don't
pipeline,
know,
there's a
dude.
gateway, there's a program you can enter to eventually reach that
So I kept thinking about it, and he was like, let's stop talking about it. I was like, no, let's see this through. I was like, in theory, you wouldn't do it because you needed the money. You would do it because you had money to sponsor it. And so you're the producer,
you're
the director, and the star.
You're fulfilling a fantasy that in your youth was not cool.
I'm just saying, I never thought about getting into porn until I thought about getting into porn as like an 80-year-old.
Yeah, if you're 80, think about, like the Holocaust was going around like 80, that was a while ago. Like, like that was a different world.
Yeah, connect these dots for me.
Yeah, well, my point being, you couldn't really regularly do porn during the Holocaust. It wasn't that popular. So, you have to keep that dream. You have to contain it. And then eventually you grow up and now you can fulfill that.
You got there.
See what I'm saying, though, right? Like, think about it's like I'm 80. I got $500,000 in the bank. It's not buying me any happiness. I'm just like, so lonely and bored. Can't draw anymore because of arthritis. But
I can still plow.
I need to set up my phone to take video right over there.
Man.
And then all I need is about 20 minutes. Maybe I don't look, and I'm just now thinking might not even include anybody else. I don't know what's selling right now.
Thank you. See, I've had multiple porn schemes come to mind, many of them including the fact that there's a fetish for everybody. There's got to be a fetish for whatever disgusting thing I am or any of us are.
Maybe it's clothes on.
Yeah, you want to see my my hams out? Sure. You want to see me fully dressed, getting slapped with a pie? Go ahead. All you need is my consent for you to jizz about it, and you've got it.
And then what's the ROI? Like, how much am I gonna make back? Right? Yeah.
Are there enough of you little freaky bastards out there? That's essentially it.
This is where our economy is nowadays. People can't really find a real job, so they do this.
If we can't just have a UBI, I'm fine with everybody having a pornographic account. By all means, we got to get by.
I think, like, the sex work industry is not. I don't see that as being like people having a great time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's work, like anything else. I think it's a fucking
really
job.
Thrilled to be involved.
I don't think they're like, I love this fucking job. I think that you get something out of it. It's like there's an art form to it, like with dancing and in what they call strip clubs and everything. That's all fine.
You don't call it that though, but someone else.
I'm just thinking there's probably a new, more liberal term.
You've never heard of it.
It's probably another term. I'm probably strip club. It's probably outdated. I'm just taking that into account. So. Maybe not, but dancing for money. But like, there's an art to all of this. But there's also like the people who come in and lowball everyone else, and they're like, "I'll do anything," right?
That's true. There's always people willing to do anything, and that's the problem with our economy in general. Is you have a bunch of people with low standards that are just willing to do anything for the lowest amount of money. We call them scabs. And they drain the rest of us of our resources and buying power in this economy.
Speaking of getting drained, do you think Trump actually sucked off Bill Clinton?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, just wanted to.
I don't think Bill Clinton. I think that was. I
see. That's him. The only point at which I doubt is where you're coming at it from, which is Bill Clinton might have been like, yeah. If I
No,
want
I'm
someone to
thinking
blow
Bill
me-
Clinton woke up in the middle of it and was like, "What's going on?" Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
no, it's Epstein and Trump.
Finish
They're
up and
talking.
get out.
They made a bet, and then the bet was like, you do this or whatever, you lose, you gotta suck his dick, and he's sleeping over there, whatever the fuck. And
Now
then
that's
they
a
made a bet.
possibility.
Trump lost the bet. Go over there. You just give it a go. Good old round 1, round 2 situation. Bill Clinton, what is he, the president at the time? He doesn't mind getting his dick sucked by some wannabe billionaire. Whatever. Good for him.
I don't think they did. And this is the
I
thing.
think they did it many times. Multiple
Trump's
times.
not a giver, for one.
Yeah, Matt's
He's
coming
not
to
gonna do
the
anybody-
It has to be a lost bet. That's my.
He's not going to do anybody and come on, like Trump commits to deals he's made. No, that's
with Epstein,
definitely
with
not.
Epstein, his best friend.
He's not going to go, well, I
Enigma's
guess I
never changed.
lost. So did you see the South Park where they showed Trump doing it to JD Vance and he keeps flipping him and doing all these other positions? And I
not
was
see
like,
that
not realistic. Trump's
I
not a
saw all the other
multiple
ones.
position kind of guy.
Trump has sex like a turtle. Like I'm sure he just climbs up there and goes, "Nah," and then it's a
He
miracle
just
he's
climbs
alive.
up. I think you're giving him too much credit. I don't think
They
it's a
showed
turtle.
him in that movie, The Apprentice. They showed him having sex with his ex-wife against her will. And
They showed that on TV.
And I was like, I still don't think that's how it happened. It looks way too, he looks like he's way too
Athletic.
energetic.
Yeah.
He probably just falls on top of them and they can't move
Oh god.
from his under his weight. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, oh my God, this isn't even like,
I mean, it's like if some big,
it's abnormal in every
look at
way
Donald
when it
Trump,
comes to
look
this
at
stuff.
him, we all know what he looks like. If he falls asleep on top of you, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna wind up somewhere like underneath 6 feet in New Jersey or whatever. You're gonna wind up with moss on your fucking gravestone. That motherfucker falls on you. Like, it's not going well.
I think
Why
Trump,
do you think that one kid is just gonzo? No one talks about her. Trump fell on her one time and it's been downhill ever since.
I just can't see him doing, okay, let's,
the
this
same kid he
kind
brought
of-
to Epstein's Island and introduced Epstein to and all those things.
This is on topic, but not on top. I'm looking at all these
Is there a
images.
topic for today's show? I feel like
I'm looking at all these images
I'm so sorry.
of Epstein and all this stuff.
you're looking at him.
And-
I'm trying to avoid them, but you're diving straight in.
The ones that they're putting up,
He's the most
like on
regular.
Majority Report or whatever. I'm not on, what is it, a Dropbox? You
I
know what
100%
Like,
am. I'm
So-
being a little tinfoil hat weirdo, but go ahead.
Yeah,
here's what I
been
get
copy-pasting
from
my PDFs, unredact them.
here's what I get from pictures of where he lived and how he dressed and like his surroundings and his office and all. Very boring, no fucking style. Looks like he spent a lot of money on stuff that is not impressive. And like, I'm not just talking about like the gold tacky shit that they're
talking
like,
about
"Put some
Epstein?
gold over here and over there." Yeah, because Trump is modeling the Oval Office and all that shit after what Epstein's place looked like, one of them. So, but like Epstein it looks like, and I'm not kidding, they showed pictures of like some sex toys, and I was like, even that just looks incredibly boring. That shit that you can
Those
just
were, like,
buy
the
from a
pet sex
porn
toys.
store.
Yeah, those were the stuff like you buy when you stop at an adult toy store with your spouse or whatever because you're looking to spice.
And they're like,
things
let's
up
do something
last minute.
naughtier. Yeah.
Yeah,
But so this guy was like, look, I don't know how it works, but if I had more money than God, I would definitely be like custom jobs.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
like, because Jeff Bezos does synthetic coke, not the street shit. You know what I mean? And that's just I don't have any evidence of
Nothing
that.
that comes in a cardboard box for
Right.
God's sake.
That's what was weird to me. It was just like this guy just seems like so unimaginative and
Well,
boring.
when you factor in that he's
Also the worst
he's a
person around.
intelligence asset, like his goal is to manipulate rich people. He's like the lowest common denominator of rich person, right? So he's trying to model his whole place after what are all the rich perverts going to be into.
If you are a connoisseur of fine products, those products don't make any sense. But if you look at it through the lens of he's trying to get pictures of people around products, then it makes a lot more sense.
I mean, yeah, he's got like a 5-hour tape of Trump and like a child, that's somewhere. We don't know where that is, but
yeah,
he tried to reach out.
I can't wait till that one comes out.
Tried to reach out to what's the guy's name? Larry Nesser. The U.S. Olympics.
As you know, I've taken the short route home.
He tried to reach out to him, and the letter was
like a Trump tweet. That letter, that shit's awesome.
It was returned.
That does
unopened,
seem like people are saying that letter is something he wrote to incriminate Trump in case he gets killed in prison. I think it's the other way around. I think he wrote that to try to intimidate Trump, being like, you better get me out of here because here I am talking on the record. And instead of getting him a really quick, quiet pardon, what it got him was...
I mean, the whole thing's very interesting. I can't wait until Donald Trump steps down and gets a pardon and goes to live his best life.
Isn't he going to pardon himself?
Well, he's going to pardon himself, and then he's going to step down, and then he's going to get pardoned again. It's going to be a double pardon.
By February of next year, by the end of February of 26, I think Trump is out of office, pardons himself on the way out, and plans to go die quietly in Mar-a-Lago. But I don't think that he fully understands the America he created, and I think one of his own is going to gun him down when he thinks he's in retirement in the last days of his life. But I think basically all this is happening because he is dying right now, and every month he has fewer days and fewer hours in the days that he has to behave anywhere near coherently.
He was dozing off.
Vance is already, the
way he falls asleep, but his face droops. What is that?
Yeah. Well, it looks like that's damage from a seizure. It looks like these muscles, which can get damaged during a seizure.
He was holding his head up to listen to somebody and fell asleep like this, and then went.
See, that is if you
like, whoa.
That's like scarring from not a seizure, an aneurysm. Stroke. Thank you.
I mean, I can't believe Mitch McConnell is still in office. Remember, he was falling.
What if there's a real emergency, you guys? Like we've stopped even bothering with this conversation. But sincerely, what if we have another Hurricane Katrina tomorrow? What if a country actually decides to attack us? Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, what the fuck are they going to do about it? They won't even know what's happening.
I wouldn't even consider that an emergency. I mean, who's going to attack us? Anyone who would attack us. I mean, I feel like that's probably going to make things better off.
Emergencies happen all the time. We don't know what they are.
There's hurricanes. I mean, they're not going to do. They already dismantled FEMA. So, I mean, if anything, they're going to try to engineer the hurricanes. They're going to create some whirlpools in the Gulf of America to try to take out some population.
We know what they will try to do will be nonsensical, and their plan won't help anybody, but it's irrelevant anyway because they're not competent enough to execute any plan, even a bad one, even one that wouldn't help. It's irrelevant. It's a little bit worse than having nobody in the White House. Because at least if there's nobody in the White House, everybody else can plan.
Well, we had nobody in the White House for 4 years after Trump and before Trump, there was nobody in the White House. So
sort of.
I kind of like that, in retrospect. I didn't like it at the time, but like looking back,
this is the problem.
We didn't know how good we had it.
Basically.
I think there's two major problems. One, Jake is on with the Jake is
on
just
it,
on, right?
As in on stream. That's one of the problems.
With people not voting in their best interest, always voting Republican down ballot, even though it gets them and everyone nowhere, right? And like we can try to win them over. I think the other problem is every time we hit a new low, we can guarantee we're not going to recover fully. So it's like when you dip, you never get all the way back up. So that means that the failures and the worst aspects of the current administration are to a degree normalized, even when we gain power back. Or
the
majority.
All-time high is a very long time ago, and we will not be getting back.
That doesn't happen in a preordained cycle, though. That has been happening because we've been bouncing between regressives in the form of the Republican Party and conservatives in the form of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean. So like they need to go.
yeah.
So
Our main job, I feel, isn't even attacking the Republicans or whatever. I'm trying to do that, but our main job is gutting the Democratic Party and getting rid of the old guard.
Exactly, because the Republicans, that's hopeless. Like, if Republicans continue to not run for office again, great. I hope, I don't know what happened recently. Like, they say, oh, Republicans are jumping ship. Okay, well, let's not exaggerate, but also any Republican jumping ship is a good sign. But I feel like, why now when this guy's been the same fuck up the whole fucking time, right? I think maybe there's some major thing and they know about it or they caught wind of it. It could even just be a rumor around the halls of Congress. I don't know. There's some major thing where people are like, I'm getting out now. This is going to get bad. I'm out.
We should also, I think, get our heads together and come up as a community with a way to signal to Democrats who are like, maybe I'm going to retire next cycle, maybe the one after that. It's time to get the fuck out. Like, look, if you want to leave gracefully, you can leave gracefully now. But if you don't, like, I'm thinking make an example of somebody. Like, if you don't, if you say, like, if you're a Joe Manchin type and you're saying, I think I'm going to run again because I'm in a purple area and blah, blah, blah. Just got to release some compromise, do whatever we got to do.
I think we should be, like, there are people out there praising Ro Khanna for possibly running in 2028. I'm like, he needs to go.
Yeah. He's like, he's a Liz. This is very harsh because I can't think of a more appropriate thing, but he's similar to Liz Cheney in that I'm happy with what he's saying right now. I have no complaints with what he's saying right now. Obviously, we don't have a long-term use for this guy. He can't be trusted. Once you hit that level, even if you eventually agree with my politics, I cannot trust you. Like Gavin Newsom, everything he's saying right now is basically perfect. Don't trust him. He didn't have the sense to know that you shouldn't give a massive Hyperloop contract to Elon Musk. He was in favor. He wasn't governor, but he was in. Was he governor?
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Obama and Ro Khanna. Always is like, yeah, I can text Elon right now.
Yeah,
they're all pals.
They just
also pals with Elon.
We don't have.
Hey,
time.
Elon, want to play some games? Here, gamer.
The whole the House resolution to reform ICE, which just came out in October. No, we should abolish ICE, not give them badges.
No, we got to
reform
ICE because borders
do
are
the
great,
right thing,
and we need to enforce the border. I love ICE.
I
love Israel.
ICE.
Yeah, they should be in jail.
Yeah. If people
we need better transparency. Are you fucking kidding
me? So there's two things I think that's important, and they're going to sound like they're the same thing, but they're not. They're fundamentally, or they're crucially different, I should say. Thing number one is we should be making sure that if you are a progressive and you dare call yourself a progressive, you also have to be aggressive about law enforcement, which means ICE broke the law. That's the immediate thing we have to deal with now. You should be talking on the campaign trail about how you intend to get these people in prison. The other side of that is we cannot put. I'm just going to say it too awkwardly, but the other side of that is we can't talk about moving on or letting go. Because when people say that, that means that we don't only not agree with them, but we turn on them and end their campaigns.
So
for this crowd, if you hear somebody saying that, every one of us on this space during that week should do something like stop supporting this person, start donating to their competitor, and just tear them to shreds.
There was a CNN article that I covered on my Monday night show because Mondays are back.
Mondays are back at the Letterhack Industries. Subscribe.
We had there was a CNN article that it was a handful of Democrats saying
just one handful.
They're being attacked. by primary challengers. And I made the case that in a ideal setting, let's say I was in office, I'm the incumbent, and Jake is the primary challenger. I'd go, shit, a primary challenger. Well, if this guy's doing this campaign in good faith, maybe I've done something wrong or I'm not doing good enough. So that's on me. I'll do better. Also, let me reach out to Jake and tell him, good luck. Thank you for embracing this vital part of our democracy. And just want to let you know, may the best person win. But if it's me, you should come work for me because you obviously want to hold me accountable. So you got a job. Don't worry. But if it's you, keep my number because I'm going to help you navigate this bullshit swamp. Okay, if I can be help at all, you let me know. Now back to what we were doing.
Fantasy world.
But instead, these guys are all saying we're being attacked. We're wasting time and money on a primary. We just need to win. This is in the same week that Barack Obama said, don't worry about your ideological differences right now. Stop arguing. Just win. On what? We're not supposed to run on anything. It's ridiculous. And it's also the same week that the DNC said, or maybe it was the DCCC, they're not going to give their 2024 autopsy. They're like, nah, we're not going to show you the results of that. Oh, but by the way, we did spend $20 million on with consultants to try and find out how we should be speaking to American men, young American men. It was called SAM, Speaking with American Men. Should have been SWAM. It was SAM. I think.
I just want to say no offense at all, but I've had enough with American men.
So then
I can't take it anymore.
You can't just read that article and go, this is bullshit. Just quickly cross-reference with Track APAC, right? And you can see that every single Democrat that was mentioned in the article, and they're all, except for AOC, because somebody was complaining about her, they're all being fully funded by pro-Israel lobbyists and super PACs. It's all in the game, right? So like, the problem is easily identifiable. I went to one website, looked at the names of the people bitching and moaning about their primary challengers, and there it was. And so now the next step is what you can't rely on the average person to do, our beloved normies, which is find out who those primary challengers are. Support them, follow them on social media, donate to their campaign. If you live in that area, vote for them, volunteer at their office, whatever it is. Like that is the most vital aspect that is being missed. Voters think their job happens on election day. And that's not the case. And that is a huge problem.
One of the core aspects of a democracy is an educated electorate. And so we've never had an educated electorate. You could argue maybe like in the 60s and 70s, maybe they were trying to educate the electorate. But like we don't live in a democracy simply because no one knows what the fuck's going on. You can't, if someone has the same voting power, someone who's read every single news article from every major website or whatever, versus someone who thinks the sky is made of cotton candy and rainbows, and well, I mean, it is made of rainbows, but but if the clouds are made of cotton candy, you can't. If you have the same voting power, it's not a democracy. There's no democratic value there.
Isn't it just wild that a sitting member of Congress or any politician would be anti-primary election? I mean, you're saying that you don't like, you can't say there's one part of democracy that's a fucking bad part without saying it's all. I mean, this is
primaries. There should be the most.
That is accountability. The primaries are.
You get to make a lot of appearances, like most incumbents that don't have primary challengers, no one knows who they are because they're just kind of coasting. You get primary challenger, you get on TV, people ask you questions, they start paying attention to you. They should really want more of these.
They can ignore the letters and calls to their office once they're elected. You can't ignore the primary challenger in that same way. So like, to me, that's where true accountability happens. And if you're against it, what are you trying to cover up? You're not doing a good job and you're afraid that's going to be exposed. Like this is, you definitely need to go.
I mean, anyway, the more centrist to Republican you get, the more conservative you get, the less you care about, in my opinion, right or wrong. And the more you're just interested in power. So yeah, it makes total sense to me.
They're just scumbags. I mean, it's not, we try to overanalyze it because, we're trying to make sense of it, but they're just scumbags, scam artists, cocksucking pieces of shit. That's what they are. You know, they
There's
don't
a
give a fuck about anything but themselves, their pockets, and they don't give a shit about that. Even.
there's a left of center. Oh, was it a consultant group or a nonprofit? They're identified as left of center, and they're called Welcome. And I was like, which direction are you welcoming people from on this spectrum? Like from the left to the right, or you're just like, hey everyone,
We're all
welcome to the middle. We're all come this way. Come
You
this
feel
way.
welcome, everybody. Oh, just come on in.
Oh,
You
I
know
just
what,
imagine
though?
somebody being like, it's over here, it's over here.
Oh man,
We're-
those pieces of fucking shit. I hate those guys. Those like centrist cocksuckers that are just like, oh,
Welcome. You
I
finally realize
try to be reasonable, and we're the only
gray
reasonable
areas where it
ones.
happens.
It's all, as Pink points out, it's already happening with the abundance folks, but I've noticed that as time goes on, progressive stuff is going to be viewed as the answer because it is the answer. It's when you have fascism, it's defeated by socialist policies every single time. So progressive stuff is going to appear on paper to be quite popular. Hopefully it actually will be. But that also means we're going to have a flood of con artists. For example, Sri Thanadar in my state, he's a con artist. He votes super conservative, but he talks like he's a progressive. That's going to become, because there's so few actual progressives right now, and it is so difficult to be one in this moment. We're going to get the zone flooded with fakers.
And it's easy too. Like that's, people don't understand that, like, you know, especially now that Trump is on that out, you know, he's going out, like, you know, people are going to want to get out ahead of that. They're going to want to establish their backstory now so that, you know, 3 years from now, they can do this epic run. And then they can like say, hey, look at my Reddit posts where I was talking about how I'm a communist or whatever. And, you know, and I had this perfect job, you know, farming, and I'm a great person. You know, they create this narrative, you know, and they're going to do it now because it's obvious what direction we're going toward, like Jake was saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you have any at all intent to win on anything, you can just plan a year, 2 years ahead, and you can get a lot of shit done in that time period.
I should say I'm actually fine if they are a plastic progressive. If they don't feel in their hearts whatever, but they're still able to accomplish things. All right, fine. You just keep pretending to be a good person for the rest of your life, and I'm okay with that.
That's how I feel about some more recent additions to the online left. Some of these podcasters. It's like, I don't think you believe what you're saying, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do the dance. Do it well. I see you. I know who the fuck you are. I'm not sticking my neck out for you. But you know, I feel like that way about David Pakman, actually. Like I think he's kind of slimy, but he does make good arguments, and like I will never risk anything to help him out. But I mean, I'm glad he's out there. Actually, you go get him. Do Spanish language, whatever.
Go get him, buddy. Man, I do not like
speaking
David
of
Pakman, though.
podcasts and YouTube and stuff.
I love YouTube. I love podcasts.
So I wasn't doing my channel. I wasn't doing regular shows. It was all planned. It was intentional. I got right back on track when I intended to, and I got a lot done in the meantime. So, you know, it wasn't really a time off, but it was a hiatus. And I got to say, I had some time to think about what I wanted to do when I came back, how I wanted to do the show, how I wanted to handle clips. Am I trying to grow? I feel like we talked about it into the ground. I should have way more subscriptions than I have, just based on the consistency, not necessarily that it's a great thing.
You got to get into Letterhack now.
But you know, I was like, how do I want to get engagement? Because I do want people to respond to this, or you know, I want it to resonate with people, the show I put on. And so Jake, first of all, being away was very good, because it's like I didn't give myself a chance to get stale. And when I came back, I feel like people were like it feels very good to be back. Like I'm not like, well, maybe on my third show I'll get some audience. Like, no, we picked up where we left off, and then some, because Jake had given me an idea. This would have probably been like early 2024, to do a bunch of shorts. He was like, just put the shorts out there. And Jake was even like editing them, saying, here, put these out there, put these out there. Some of them did very good. I think if they didn't, it was because it was my content that wasn't resonating. But like, I never saw a flaw with the model. Jake's point and his advice, I was like, that all seems very solid. And so I tried that again. I did a show Monday night. I had Josiah of Pondering Politics on for a 30-minute interview. And I had a pre-taped 1-hour interview with the Virginia Industrial Hemp Alliance. And so I put out a whole bunch of shorts, and I'm over 1,000 on each short, pretty much, views.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like it went from, I'm getting no views, like, oh, you had 1,000 views last month. Good job. Yeah. Well, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any new shows. So then I had like 4,000 views from my first with Jesse Dollamore the week before. And now that's like quadrupled. It's and it feels very good. And I was like, okay, note to everyone doing podcasts, take some fucking time off. Walk away for 3-4 weeks if you can, right? If you can afford that,
I've been saying this for years, quitting and then coming back. Just quitting. I love quitting.
For the coming back part.
Maybe
I'm waiting for your coming back part. I really am.
But quitting is great. I love quitting. I quit a lot. I quit everything all the time. I'm
quitting.
Surprised I haven't quit this
yet.
Yet.
Hiatus. I got a lot done. But like coming back has been very rewarding. And I just didn't know what to expect. I was like, will they give a fuck if I take a day off and come back? Will they be like, no, dude, you were gone? But like,
the
I think
people
maybe
that leave during a break like that, those are the people you don't need. You just trim the fat, you shake off the chaff, and you throw it in the garbage. You compost that shit in the front yard and let a new tree grow in its place.
And I have comic book art to share, which is, look, I've never had a post get over 300. And I put some art up the other day, and it's almost at 1,000 likes and over 150 reshares. It's really fucking cool.
Everyone likes it.
That's cool.
I saw the one that had the little disk space in there. That was, I like that.
That's going to get covered up in the final product.
No,
unfortunately. It will.
Why?
There's a surprise image that's going to go there.
Oh, surprise image.
You've read the comic. You know what it is.
Yeah. I like the disk space version. I think that version is probably the best. Should keep that one.
Yeah, do you know what she's talking about, Jake? It's like a subway sign. Like where you put advertisements on a subway stop.
All right. I don't follow.
We're talking about a little art piece.
Okay.
Letterhack drew. He drew a little art piece of a city street with a subway entrance with a little advertisement. And the advertisement board said this space. Which
okay.
It's a good
watch this space.
Yeah. But I understand that Matt is he's not going to ship it with this space advertisement. Unfortunately, he's going to cover it up with something debatably more appropriate, worse overall, maybe. But it's
about it or you don't.
It's a version thing. That's the thing. Like there's another version out there, and the prototype. It's the history. Really, it's a historical artifact. But I'm looking forward to the release. I think it's going to be great. I think people are going to like it. I've got a little behind the scenes of it. I'm always excited when I wake up to 5 new messages about, whatever this is.
That's just a panel.
I was going to say that the way Andrea described it reminded me of The Watchmen, and actually I stand by that. Although that actual city street looks more like Chicago.
It's Brooklyn. It's an actual subway stop in Brooklyn, New York.
It does say Manhattan, to be fair.
It does say that.
It's going to Manhattan.
Here's what
I don't know.
Chicago.
You don't go to a subway stop
I don't know.
in Brooklyn that advertises where you are. The subway advertises where you pick up the train to go.
Buffalo, it has Manhattan, it has the island. And
all the trains don't go to each place.
That's all I know about New York. I've never been there.
That stop gets a train that goes to. Okay.
I gotta say something here. I'm gonna get up from the shot for a minute because every time I'm trying to discreetly scratch my balls, it does look like I'm playing with myself. So what I'm gonna go do
Hey, it's
is
like scratch
just
your
so
elbow. It's totally
freely-
natural.
Yeah, it's
actually
biological
my inner thigh. My disgusting furry inner thigh is itchy. No different than
That's
ball
worse
material.
than that's worse.
Dude,
than,
save it for the barbershop. What
yeah,
the fuck?
It
save
is.
it for the.
Yeah,
Wow.
good call, man.
What am I, your
Hold on, I
barber?
would like to pause this for a moment here because we got an
Christ.
interesting comment.
Oh,
Is this channel like About Anything or just a Seinfeld episode? Now this is a and
don't
and I'll get
confuse
back to Jake in a
channel
second.
with
Is
show.
channel, I'm not sure. Channel, some people that's a name for people like Chanel. So I'm going to assume that that's just a lowercase proper noun. So is Chanel like About Anything? Good question.
This
I would,
this channel is, this show is not.
this show, well, what channel is this person even on? Is my
This
first
space.
question.
This space.
This space
Could be mine.
This space, well, this space is a channel that has what do we have, like 20, 30 different people
File
on
break.
here?
Still listening.
We're like the worst, we're like the graveyard shift. We come on at night to just waste everyone's time as they drift off asleep, right? People they watch the better material earlier in the day. This guy right here had a show earlier, and then he did a bunch of drugs, and now we're here. This is the main Chanel. And
Look at
so,
that.
but now we're at nighttime. We're just talking about, honestly, this show's been kind of disgusting. We're insulting each other. We're talking about pornography, death, destruction, hurricanes, murder, the Holocaust.
Inner
was
thigh
mentioned.
fur.
Inner thigh fur. It's really kind of, we've gone off the rails a little bit.
Senior
But this space is
erotica.
more about, it's a collaborative collaboration. Really, it's a collective actually, and we collect like Pokemon. We collect YouTubers and we put them on screen like that, like Letterhack on the, he had that open on screen. It's like showing our Pokédex, but with YouTubers. And this is, it's like, yeah, there it is. You ever play Pokemon? You ever play that? I play games. I got Pokemon right here. Look at this, Pokemon Red. It's like that. This is that's what we're playing here. That's we're playing
Not
Pokemon Red.
lying. Not lying.
Yeah. You can see like I sneezed all over the screen. It's kind of disgusting. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And we're the worst. We're like at the late night, Jake's so embarrassed he had to shut his webcam. I was like, we honestly, we could cut the show and the net result of this space would probably be better off. I would imagine. But
This I love.
now this is an example of colonizing language.
Yeah.
We have
got 'em.
basically created a space in your mind.
I don't make the rules.
We have permanently, you're going to be like in 2053, if you live that long. I don't know how old you are. Someone's going to hear, you're going to say this space in the corner of your peripheral auditory range, and you're going to think about this channel that collapsed in 2027 because we got banned. But we're still colonized. We colonized your language forever, and you'll never get over it.
Well, people were already saying people in this space need to blah blah blah, and I was like, that's why we're calling it that.
I've
'Cause
been
now
saying that
whenever
for a
they
long
say
time.
that,
Yeah.
If you think about it, in this space, it's like, yep, yep. That's why I coined the phrase "the greater this space." Like
It's
when
kind of
I-
like the greater Israel, but less fascist.
when I say, and then you look at people in the greater this space, not this space, but the greater this space. Oh, look at this. Boom.
Little super sticker.
What's going on, Kowalski?
Hey, prairie fire. All right.
I invited Kowalski on the show recently.
This show?
Yeah.
He was on the show before.
He's been on before, which is why it made sense
Yeah.
to me, but I understand he's a busy guy. But I was
Speaking of being
trying
busy,
to-
look at this empty cup. Got a
Yep.
huge problem. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, it's solidarity. Hold on. Okay. So what I was saying was
the improv game.
you're back. Okay.
Damn
Hold
it.
on. I was just in solidarity with the no cams. So Kowalski's channel is blowing up. He's got great farming content. I was like, dude,
Yeah. He had
Come
like
on.
30,000 views on a video or something like that.
sent an email.
I sent a pigeon.
I sent email, and I'm
to see
sure
who gets there first.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in the middle of the field, The pigeon's gonna be more visible.
Yeah, and I don't think
The
it was like a
connectivity-wise?
carrier pigeon. I just I just
Oh.
was patient and I snatched one up, tied the message.
Anyway, Kowalski, open invite. Come on the show. You can come on my regular show too, and we'll do the new interview segment I have going. It's very casual and relaxed. It's easy. Anybody can do it. Have you seen
You
any of
can't
those
come on
interviews?
mine though, unless you find that pigeon.
But you can come on
Any
this
pigeon.
show anytime.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I've only done 2 so far. Have you seen the Q&A I got going now?
I have not.
It's again
How's it?
something I thought of you. I was like, what is a cool thing people do that's not being done in this space? And I thought to myself that
Hello.
I'm an interview guy. It's an interview show.
Is that milk?
It is, but I
like
want
to
to hear
have-
about the show.
I like to have guests on. So I'm trying to get a more, and when I've had guests on from the online left for interviews, I'm typically asking like how and why they do what they do and try and learn about them in terms of being a broadcaster. But maybe we could get a more well-rounded perspective of who these folks are if the questions were more random and silly sometimes. So like I have this huge list of what feel like just real random questions, right? Like one of them is circus or carnival.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying?
Mm.
And then topic of something very topical. Like here's something that's happening today. What do you think about redacted files and whatever? And then I always have a hot take where I say respond to my hot take.
What's your
And,
hot take today?
Yeah.
today? Oh,
Yeah.
I can give you the most recent one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be anti-capitalist and a sports fan if you aren't currently protesting that all stadiums are named after like banks and insurance companies or corporations. And so respond to that. But then there's a follow-up. What if it fell on your shoulders to choose what stadiums should be named instead? Which category, theme, or industry would you choose if you were limited to just one? And so, like, let's use Pokemon, for example. What if you said Pokemon and now it's like, hey, the Dallas Cowboys at Pikachu Stadium this Sunday, right? Like,
I don't know
that would
about
be
Pikachu
fucking
Stadium.
funny, right?
I don't know.
But, like, okay, then what? Horror movies like the Mike Myers field?
I mean,
or
I thought we were
Freddy Krueger Arena?
But I mean, if we're going to horror movies, I mean, I
But
don't.
what? I
I'd
mean,
like a
you can do
Saw
whatever.
6 arena. Take the United Healthcare Arena, turn it into the Saw 6 arena where they're chopping up the health insurance guys, the Luigi Mangione movie.
See,
Yeah,
I think this is seriously good. Like, I think the people of the area should decide. I think it should be a vote by the local folks, and options are put forward. There's a time to submit, something like that. But I think arenas should be owned by the government, event centers like that. If something is ever built by the government, by default, the government should own it. That's my feeling, because the government is us. So if we all had our resources taken to build something, I'm fine with that, but we should own it also.
I can agree.
Or we just name everything Cosby Stadium. Cosby Stadium 1 through however many, and just be like, look, y'all didn't put any regulation on this. This is what happens when you don't have regulation. It's a lesson for us all.
It would be so easy to just name the fucking thing after the team.
Yeah, true. Yeah, at Ravens Stadium or whatever. Yeah.
And they don't. And it's like, fuck those corporations. Why do they have to fuck? It's just like Trump putting his name on the Kennedy Center, if you ask me. That's
Oh
what
my
made
God.
me think of it.
Oh my God, I cannot with that bullshit. I cannot.
Did you hear about the Christmas jazz band?
The Christmas jazz band. Oh,
They play every year at the Kennedy Center, and they refuse this year. Good for them.
Oh, that's great.
Everybody should follow their example. Nothing else at the Kennedy Center.
Everyone, look to the Christmas jazz band as your North Star.
Yeah, go figure. But yeah, unexpected heroes. And that's, by the way, that's a bigger deal for them than it would be for like Sylvester Stallone to just say, no, I'm not going to go to this thing. For Sylvester Stallone, it's one additional back pat in a life full of his back being patted. For these folks, this is probably the biggest event they do all year. It's probably the thing they're most famous for in their lives. And they are saying, no, we're not gonna do this event. Good.
They probably have a list of friends and family that rely on them for comp tickets to this thing.
Probably, yeah.
So, like, it's a bigger deal than just saying we're not going to do it. It's like now you have to explain that to everyone. Like, we had plans. What are we supposed to do then? It's like we had to take a stand. And so now everyone's like having get-togethers at home, and they're like, I thought you were going to the Kennedy Center. And they're like, let's talk about it. So I don't know. I do think it's fucking like the most disgusting part about all of this is the way people are just glazing the guy 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Never have I seen somebody so undeserving in my, what did you say, Jake?
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's so like Emperor has no clothes. I can't believe it. It's shocking to me on a daily basis, although I'm not shocked in the traditional sense, is that it keeps happening.
You know, I think I know.
In the words of our big beautiful president, it's a little tough to watch.
Yes. Like the CEO Tim Cook like giving that gold
Tim
bar.
Apple.
Sure. All these folks, I think what they think is that they're putting on a performance, as in for us too. Like they think that they're going to turn to the camera and be like, well, what are you going to do? Isn't this crazy that I have to do this? Like by being so blatant about it, or like saying, oh, sure, we'll rename the Kennedy Center, this or that or the other thing. All these people who were comfortable next to these devils, who are now helping them, all of these folks think that we're going to forgive them.
Your music sucks, by the way, you little piece of shit. Go on,
I've
Jake.
been watching for about half an hour, and I have no idea what you think. Bye! I mean, it's been nothing but our opinions this whole time, so I can't help you, pal.
I feel like this is one of the rare shows where we're more opinionated than usual. We're talking about how much we hate Donald Trump, how much we hate Democrats. Letterhack was going off on how much he hates the Democrats earlier. I don't know if you missed that part.
I think all those corporal dem types who are being so permissive of Trump, they think we're going to forgive them because these are the times, and it's got to be crystal clear that no, you're out now. Like we don't. If you used to buy iPhones, literally consider switching the kind of phones you buy for the rest of your life, because Tim, whatever the hell he is, Apple, all these people.
I mean, Apple,
Saudi Arabia. Qatar.
Saudi Arabia, don't even get me started. They're purchasing all these fucking events. I saw they purchased the fighting game tournaments earlier. They're like, I hate Saudi Arabia. They're
I thought people were going to be
everything.
talking about the Dave Chappelle stand up more. But
well, no one
not.
cares about him. He's washed up.
Riyadh.
I saw
he sold his soul as well. I'm not interested in what he has to say. If he makes me laugh ever, I feel I can't laugh as freely, because back in the day when I laughed with Dave Chappelle, there was a trust involved. I knew that I wouldn't feel horrible about it in a year. And now I don't feel that way. So my laughter doesn't come the same. He's just not as funny as he used to be because he's not a decent human being. Mix Glitchmaster. You mean to tell me people are actually listening to this and not just passively hearing this in the background while playing video games? You people are weird. That is how I watch our stuff. I
suddenly imagine there's scenarios out there where people are going, hey, can you guys shut up? I'm trying to fucking watch Left Past 10. Like, Mom,
I mean, there's at least one or two people
fucking
out there.
down. Letterhack is saying something.
This is the thing that they look forward to once a week. You ever think about that? I've had people telling me that, like, "Oh, I look forward to your streams." That's why I quit. I couldn't take that shit. That's a lot of responsibility. I can't have that fucking shit on my shoulders.
Hey, bro, did you watch Left Past 10 last night? Do not spoil it for me. I haven't watched it yet.
I taped it.
Right? Like, nobody's doing that.
That's when those
Matt was talking about being in his
Letterhack
80s.
unlists the episodes. When Letterhack unlists the episodes, those motherfuckers, they're trying to find bootleg copies in a
Matt
fucking
was talking
alleyway
about
somewhere.
Being in his 80s, getting into porn.
Yeah, we're gonna have to unlist this one. This one's got pretty rough.
This is not even the first time we've collectively talked about incorporating porn into our repertoire on this show.
You've mentioned it several times. I know you have a whole.
I started an OnlyFans.
You have a whole account and everything. You're building an empire over there.
Chappelle justified.
You know, the CEO of OnlyFans
Saudi Arabia
loves Israel and gives a lot of the money from OnlyFans creators to Israel. So just throwing that out.
Oh no!
I just thought people were going to go after him about justifying doing the comedy tour in Saudi Arabia and all that, or festival.
Oh, I mean, it's just can't be bothered with Dave Chappelle. People are more interested in Bill Burr. He was the
but isn't that
figure?
Isn't that what we're? But isn't the left looking for shit? I mean, come on. Every other video is about Trump. Like, we're tired of him too. I get he's the president.
It's just
but like
no
out
one gives a fuck
is
about
the
Dave
thing.
Chappelle. He's so worthless. Like you'd rather make a video about like the guy who was in that fucking movie from whatever, than Dave Chappelle.
You know what's comical? He doesn't think that. Chappelle thinks he's more
he thinks he's
ever.
a modern day opiner, but that's unfortunate for him.
No, like he comes out and says it in the like toward the end.
I watched it. I usually don't get that far.
I watched it just like, ooh, fuck. What is he talking about now? I was like, what is this? He sounded incoherent at times where I was like, this must be what it's like to get all your news from like just Joe Rogan's podcast or just Facebook, because I was like, this is all over the place. He said one negative thing about Bill Maher and one negative thing about Israel, and people were like, or two negative things about Israel, and people were like, oh, this is good. And I was like, no, the whole show was bad. That's not okay.
We have such like low expectations, and this is my whole show about it, low expectations or whatever, earlier. But like, anyone comes out there and says, I think Israel is not the greatest thing, and everyone just showers them with praise. Like, wow, like that's it. We're on fucking how many years of the whole Israel thing, and this is the most strength you can have on the position. I mean, give me a goddamn motherfucking break with this fucking shit.
Monday will be my last show of the year, and I'm formulating like I always try. I know it's not like great wisdom.
Are you taking
are you tuning in for this? No, but I always try and give like this is where I see the online left right now. This is what I see as like the podcast sphere for political lefties or whatever, right? Like I always try and give that snapshot. And you
got to watch all the videos one year, just like watch them all back to back and see how the predictions went.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're just getting to a point now where the podcasts are what people consider a political win.
What do you mean?
It's sort of an abstract thought, but like I'm sickened by the fact that we're still in a place where we just need more people saying the right thing when we still don't have anyone doing the right fucking thing. Know what I mean? Like as far as policy or whatever. So like new podcast comes along and everyone's like, I like them. I'm like, fuck them. They're not saying anything that hasn't been said a billion fucking times. Why do you like them? Why is this so good?
Hired talking
Why do we need more
slightly different orators each?
We don't need more of this shit. People, and then they have each other on their shows and they're like, I'm impressed by you. I'm impressed by you. Fuck both of you. Shut up and run for fucking office. Go get in Congress. You're just making money off.
People love hearing them
don't want to go that
far. They get into this job. People love.
But I mean, if they are so important and they're so great and they matter and they have millions of people subscribe to them, surely you can achieve office. Like, go for it. Otherwise, is this entertainment?
Wasting our time, man.
How serious is this?
For the same reason,
we're airing grievances tonight.
For the same, I will grant that there's a lot of crossover skills between podcasting and politics, but for the same reason, Jake Paul has no business being a professional boxer. He's a good amateur boxer, but he's not a professional boxer. I would not say that being a podcaster should make your mind jump to, I should also be in politics. But I do broadly agree. with your feelings about, like, it's no longer. In fact, I was planning on saying something like this today on this show. It's no longer enough just to get in front of a microphone and talk. You also have to be doing something else. And you, as the audience, also have to be, it's no longer enough just to listen to this stuff. You have to be actively doing something at least every week.
And my point isn't please run for office. It's if you're not going to do that, stop doing your stupid podcast. Like my point is here's my thing. People are just, and it's, you know, I kind of want to save this. It's not gems, but I kind of want to save
these
it for
are
like
gems by Letterhack. Yeah.
For something I've written down and composed versus a off the cuff rant. But, and it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot easier when I can name names. And I sort of don't want to do that right now because it's going to come off wrong and I want to be constructive about it. You know what I mean? But I just think if there is a new podcast and everyone is fucking gushing over these people as if what they're saying is like, finally somebody's saying it. And that's not the case. This isn't finally somebody saying it. It's like, God, somebody else is saying it. So what, in 10 years, we're going to have like a podcast where we go, finally somebody's saying it, or what? I mean, what are they criticizing?
You know, I got to be honest.
Are we gonna ever
never feel
there?
that way when I watch podcasts. Like, I mean, all these podcasts that I see that are popular are the stalest, driest.
Same.
Everyone says the same fucking thing. So, like, I've never been impressed by anything that's broken through to the mainstream.
People are like, I like that guy. He's great. And I'm like,
I don't get it.
Okay, but what are we're creating an industrial complex here. It's like a cottage industry of bad politics podcast.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
Like, do you exist in a Star Trek utopia? No. I mean, because you're just sitting here capitalizing off all the bad things and the drama, right? Which is why I'm surprised, to get to my original point, this is why I'm surprised more people aren't talking about the Dave Chappelle thing as if it mattered. I'm not saying they should. I'm just surprised they aren't. Because being dissatisfied, pissed off, and railing against people who aren't with us is like the whole fucking thing. There is activism and advocacy out there too. And I love that. And there are people who focus on, like, you know, one avenue or one aspect. But like the ultra popular version of it, these folks that come out of absolutely nowhere, it's like as soon as you hear about them, they've got millions of subscribers. And
we also have like these fucking people like David Pakman who's training a generation of do nothing cringe lords. You ever see these like 19 and 20-year-old YouTubers that just somehow have like 2 million subscribers out of nowhere? That's like David Pakman's little cringe crew, his little femboy project he's got going on.
Well, all these
Twink
folks
manufacturing complex
that are being mentioned in the comments and also on stream, I note that all of them were upper middle class when they started, which meant they could afford ad buys. And that right there.
And they have all these fancy studios with these fucking TV screens and all these fucking horse shits that no one fucking gives a fuck about.
You don't have to be
aesthetic of podcasting more than
a millionaire to have that stuff available. But you know, there's a difference. We're so used to billionaires and millionaires, we forget that there's, you know, wealthy people amongst us as well who are not millionaires, but they have a lot of wealth. So somebody like the I've Had It podcast folks or David Pakman or yada, yada, yada. All these folks have the budget to get a head up. Somebody
middle-aged could have a kid in junior high school that could do professional level editing for their podcast, and it wouldn't be a big deal to them. And you just have to promise to let them play lacrosse next year or whatever it is, right? Hey,
speaking
joining
of
us now, very special guest all the way from Nebraska, where it's not quite Christmas yet, but it's Christmas in Nebraska.
It's
Kowalski from Nebraska. What's going on, Kowalski? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm just enjoying, Christmas Eve. Is my audio
recently
working?
Escaped prison.
Typically.
Sounds good.
It's working.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to escape from prison to enjoy it, of course.
Yeah, you just carry the ball and chain with you. It's just you got to make it a little sporty. So, All right. So I understand we are going after some new podcasters on the block. Who needs the fire.
Okay.
We got the prairie
This is-
fire.
I was
Douchebag
very
landowner.
annoyed. I was very annoyed recently on this show when somebody kept saying the iHip podcast, and I was like, I haven't heard of them. What? And they're really popular.
Somebody we're talking
I was
about.
like, what is iHip?
third party.
What? I've never heard of them. I was looking it up, couldn't find anything. The next day,
I prefer
somebody said it
waffles.
in a chat, and I was like, what is that? And they go, the I've Had It podcast, and I'm like, we're just calling it iHip, and when somebody doesn't know what iHip is, you can't explain that it's. Do you know it's called the I've Had It podcast?
This is
So anyway.
Matt is just so angry. He's full of misogyny at this podcast.
I mean, as a graphic designer, there's a whole bunch of like file extensions that people don't know what it means, but that doesn't matter. We don't live in, you know what I mean? Like JPEG. Like I know what that means. You don't have to know what it means, right? Like TIFF. I know what that
love
means. You don't
experts
have to know what
groups.
that means. But like if you're trying to explain something to me as something I'm supposed to reference, please elaborate enough for me to understand what the fuck we're talking about. So anyway, that's all.
My
But
Matt is mad
defense
as hell, man.
of their popularity.
Matt's
is-
honestly, Matt's had it.
Good.
my
That's
defense
good.
of their popularity and why I quite enjoy what they're doing is that they are bringing opinions we've held for a long time to a, let us say, socioeconomic class that has not heard them. For them, this is news. For us, it's the same old, same old.
Oh yeah, middle-aged white women are finally listening, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I
Honestly,
mean-
Good for them.
good.
The White House will be bombarded with empty wine bottles, depending
Yes.
on how things turn out this
I've
year.
started
So,
investing in wine companies. Just after hearing that podcast a single time, I think
And
it's,
wearing hip glasses without a
Yes.
prescription, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
get it.
Look,
Hip.
deep down,
it
I'm a
on your
middle-aged, sassy soccer mom. Completely. We need our tipsiest soccer moms reading the Epstein files and getting furious.
true.
Yeah, and
Can we do an
and
Epstein file live reading? Just the whole thing, just live on stream. Just read the whole thing.
Dude, yes.
it'd be pretty quick because like it's all
Well, you can
I-
unredact them. You just got to scroll your cursor over, and you can see all the black bars through.
there is that.
Yeah, that
Correct.
has been absolutely nuts to see. Like the sheer incompetence.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And the thing is, we warned them. Like, we literally did say, Donald Trump's picks have no experience. And, we were talking about solving actual murders and such. But I suppose that also applies to government cover-ups as well. They're inexperienced at these cover-ups. Oy.
And I'm not really being critical of that podcast. I'm just that was sort of the final straw for me.
Matt's just really, he's been having this energy built up. Well, keep in mind, Matt was also voted the most right-wing member of the show. So it
Look,
makes sense that he would hold on.
how
to
many
these cards
times
for a long
how many
period.
times is there going to be a new podcast that we all get really excited about because they're popular? Like
I don't know.
When that's
We're
your
just
only
kinda counteract.
value, you're not valued because of your substance or
what's
your
is it
tact.
translating?
You're only valued because you're popular. I mean, I don't know, man. That's
As
loose
long as
statement.
they're reaching an audience that has not necessarily been reached, I would view that as
Yeah.
a net positive. Something that I would view as like not a net positive is if like something came out to compete with like EMR or something, because it's like we already have that. We don't need that again, unless it's like meant to be geared towards like a younger audience. But
Yeah, but this is not what I'm saying.
right,
I'm saying the way the people who are already tuned in, who have a finger on the pulse, are like, I fucking love that podcast. Okay, great. Are we 10 years out? Are we going to be saying we love the podcast and hopefully they reach the right demographic? Like, how does it? And I know these guys are so new that you can't really. We can only hope they're reaching that. You don't
well,
know.
I'm hoping that like they're reaching people. Like maybe it's starting conversations at the Christmas dinners. People being exposed to like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, this is just blatant corruption that we're seeing around us.
I'm
or,
with you.
I've never really contemplated how like workers have just been getting screwed completely. And, something that has been driving me up a wall lately with my little stint into content creation has been the absolute like naivete of liberals in this situation. Like
Yeah.
the number of people who are now, look, I understand a lot of people are going to get upset with like the way a lot of rural people voted in the last election. Makes total sense. You know, you voted against your economic, well-being and all that. But it also, this is coming from the same people who listened to what the mainstream media was saying in 2020 and destroyed all the momentum behind Bernie and switched it all over to Biden. And they believe that they're not the ones that can be manipulated by a narrative. So like clearly there's still a lot of education that still needs to be done, because even when the entire country is like, yep, we're ready for the big change, we need to go with the guy who wants to actually reform healthcare, in just 2 weeks we can go from that to a nationwide narrative that, oh, Bernie's actually unelectable, we got to go with
Well, it's
Biden.
because he's sexist, he
Yeah,
didn't
the
like
fact that
Elizabeth Warren's
everyone
handshake
stabbed
or
him in the
whatever.
back. Yeah, that was.
And this is my whole point. I could criticize a podcast because I don't like
I
them.
still
Whatever,
can't
my
get
opinion.
sleep because of that shit, man.
But what I'm saying is, I don't like that we're still in a situation where we need to keep making the case. I want this
But
country
we are,
to
though.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I know that as well as anybody. I'm not even saying that's not the case. I haven't said that. But what I'm saying is, for fuck's sake, where is it podcasts that are going to get us there? Because when? And if not, then what? And can we please focus on that? And like, what is the solution beyond just broadcasting the message that has been broadcast since like, decades now, right? And people aren't getting it. And it just makes me a little
system that works and let their system crumble, and then they're going to look at your working system
me
and they're going to
that
yearn.
people are so quick to be like, and maybe it's just byproduct of social media, but it just, people in this space, the greater this space, are so quick to be like, oh my God, this is the best new podcast. And it's like, fuck, man, we've got millions of these podcasts out there.
Well, on a related note, Kowalski, you've had some time now with your channel. You've got a sense of who's watching. Who's watching? Yeah. Who are you reaching?
Yeah.
A lot of men.
Not bad, actually.
Are they young men? And are they lonely young men?
We need every demographic.
Spread on my videos is I'm pretty much equally hitting every age group. It skews 80-20 men, and for the most part, it's reaching, I think, more of a farmer audience. So
good.
That is what I really wanted. So I'm pretty happy with that. I had one video that did extremely well, and I am not entirely sure how it caught fire, but great.
Prairie fire?
Yeah.
What was the video? We got to know. What's the video?
Why farmers voted the way they did. And I try to explain to the best of my...
I'm so sorry, man. It's going to happen every time.
Always.
I had to stop myself from asking. Christ.
But it's just... Some of these comments are very distracting. This is why I will never be a live streamer.
It's so fucking hard.
Being a live streamer sucks.
Yeah.
People love farmers, though. I mean, that's got to be a lot.
Oh, yeah. Why did they vote, for the pedophile? Explain.
I basically tried to explain how there are echo chambers and how a lot of people's perception of reality, I guess... An allegory I've always liked is Plato's Man in the Cave. Are you three aware of what that is?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so if you think about it, if you were to look at rural areas about 1980 onward, this is a pretty isolated group. If one person is able to monopolize the media going into this group, you can kind of control what their narrative is. So think, Rush Limbaugh, talk radio. And I don't think a lot of people really understand how prolific that was for so long. That's one thing that I really liked about Sam when he would talk about early days with Air America, that's who he wanted to compete against, because there was no counter narrative on that. But so like Donald Trump is obviously the outcome of this big media like blitz that has happened in rural areas, and something people have to remember. Due to how the Electoral College works, rural areas have disproportionate representation. So if you win rural areas, you're getting more bang for your buck. But if you all remember, when Chuck Schumer was asked like what he was doing to reach voters, he wasn't worried about blue collar voters. He was worried about the suburbs.
Yeah.
So people need to really understand that you aren't going to win over rural voters unless you have an organization or a party trying to. And the Democrats aren't interested. At least the leadership isn't. I'm sure there's a lot of
You
people.
won't passively win rural voters.
Exactly. And spoiler or not spoiler, you guys get to, you know, I'm working on a new video right now that's going to be a follow-up on that one.
Smart.
Question for you all. What was Harris promising rural America?
Ooh. I don't recall anything, but I'm sure she did make some.
What was
gesture.
Biden promising rural America?
Also, I don't recall anything.
What did Obama promise rural America?
I'm sensing a disastrous pattern here. Gall.
Yeah.
The closest Harris came to it, and this was something she mentioned, it tracked right away, and she never brought it up again. I think she called it sandwich economics. Is that what it was? Where it's like you get people like my age who would have kids and elderly relatives, and they're taking care of both.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's very like you're right there at the kitchen table in rural America. You could have applied that to urban settings as well, and they just totally didn't go there. So yeah, I don't think anything, right?
Yeah, and if you also look around, like people try to make this argument that there's some sort of like educational gap. Do you know that the educational outcome in rural areas are better than most urban areas? Typically, the suburbs win that fight just because they have disproportionately more money. But rural areas actually do score relatively higher than most urban areas, but higher education is usually not as big. There's also just like the inherent issues with rural areas having fewer people. So naturally, there's just less conversations going on. So like there are fewer members of the like overarching queer community in rural places, but a lot of that is probably because there isn't a lot of discussions going on to where people who are in that community would be able to identify that. And it's just because there's a lack of communication. And Democrats could benefit by, you know, having a campaign to go into rural areas and try to explain some of this. But there's also like, I'm getting a little sidetracked on this, but like another thing that I've been looking into on it is in the last 8 years, who has been the most prominent leftist politician that is genuinely liked by rural voters?
Bernie.
Yes,
Bernie.
Unquestionably. What was Bernie's plan for rural America?
But it's the same thing that was for everybody else.
No, Bernie had a plan. Yeah, hospitals were going to get subsidized because we were going to have Medicare for all.
I was going to say it was healthcare.
Healthcare was a big one. He also talked about.
He discussed infrastructure, Wi-Fi, and internet and the like. Yeah,
infrastructure. He called back to his time in Vermont, where Vermont has one of the best trade school programs in the nation. It was predominantly something that he spearheaded. He had a huge record. Like, he was unquestionably the most qualified Democrat to get overarching support in both 2016 and 2020. Nothing. Here's another issue. A political party needs to set their leaders up for success. Who was Obama's successor? Who was his chosen handpicked successor?
Anybody but Biden from the way he behaved.
Well, in 2016, the successor was Clinton. Did Clinton believe in Obama's vision?
I don't know. Well, I know
so.
this isn't being helpful, but I don't know that Obama had a vision frankly.
Yeah,
But
that was a big issue there, but that's also kind of the point. Like there's an aimlessness to it. So
yeah,
when you're trying to build broad political support, you need to have like a system in place. When Bernie builds something, he's trying to build a system. His whole thing was always, we, not me, us, not me, that sort of thing. Did Biden ever work on a successor? No. Did
not till the
that's
last 107 days.
yeah, and even then he told it that she was unallowed to break from his narrative. For what it is worth, Bill Clinton did have a successor. It was Al Gore. Al Gore wanted to carry on a lot of his policies. There was a lot of the party that got behind that. John McCain was a clear successor to Bush. They only broke on like a couple little issues, but for the most part, there was a clear coherence with that. Right now, both political parties, they're not working on building any type of lasting institutions, nothing. They seem to just be focused on ensuring power for the oligarchs.
Yeah,
So
there's a directive not to, Obama was like, do not have ideological arguments right now. He said that's mostly social media and the internet. Anyway, it's not a big deal. Move on, just win. You can figure that stuff out later. We've got a lot of talented people, but we need to be in power before what? We figure out what we're running on. It's insane.
Yeah, if you don't say that you stand for something, then technically, sure, you can stand for anything, but your opponent can then say you stand for nothing.
So this is the thing. It's like, you're totally right. They're looking out for like donors and stuff because that's exactly the opposite of what voters want. So like if the Democratic Party came out and said, we're for universal health care, the donors would be like, no, you're not. Fuck this, right? What about us? And so to me, there's this is why I say primaries are vital, right? But we have to hold them accountable in the meantime. We have to continue to go after the politicians that are just serving the donors instead of what obviously polls well. So when we say, I want to bring over people from the right, voters, I want to get people voting Republican currently to vote in their best interest, that doesn't mean voting Democrat. That just means not voting for Trump. So join us in voting for the lesser of two evils. I don't think that wins people over. I think they're always going to go with the person who is at least lying about shit because that's what they want to hear.
I have a question about rural voters. One thing Republicans love to talk about is personal responsibility, right? So when rural voters are in a media echo chamber, in a bubble, do they not have personal responsibility to get out of that bubble? Like, because what the Republicans promise rural voters are, we're going to bankrupt you and then maybe we'll bail out some rich farms here and there. Like, that's what they've been doing is, like
but
Democrats aren't necessarily the ones that are
They
killing all
word
the
it
farmers
better than that, though.
They word it in terms of there's an enemy trying to get your way of life and ruin it.
But like
They're
these
trying to make
people,
you
they're
gay or
just
whatever.
they're lemmings. They have no agency. Just the man on the radio said the Democrats are evil, so therefore I can't think for myself.
It goes back
I don't
to
know.
It's not about no
anti-China.
agency. It's not about no agency. It's about a reinforcement of an idea. The problem is it's not necessarily that like, oh, you heard this one thing and that's it. No, it is an entire ecosystem. When you go to the hardware store, that narrative is being played over the radio in the store. It's what people are listening to every day. When there's conversations,
I can't respect someone who's just like everything and everyone that tells me they must be telling the truth. When I'm in school and they're telling me to sing the fucking flag song or whatever, I'm thinking, why are they telling me this so much? Why are they so interested? I just don't understand why they don't have the personal responsibility to open up a fucking book instead of just listening to the radio at the hardware store. That's my.
But it also does go back the other way because at the same time, liberal voters did choose Biden over Bernie. And
liberals are a whole different level of mental illness. That's true. Yeah,
that is true. But liberals are, broadly speaking, more educated. They have better access to more resources than people in rural areas. They should be having more conversations. And yet they fell victim to the exact same political system that gets them to vote against their interests. Bernie was the
It's the
working
conformist
class.
mindset, ultimately. Like, it doesn't matter how
Yes.
many books you have. If you're wanting to be a conformist with the group, you're just going to conform to whatever group you're born into.
Well, you also have to look at the bigger system at play. So, like the primary system is geared towards whoever the establishment wants to win. So, I've been diving in deep into like the 2016 and 2020 primaries on this thing that I'm working on. And if you recall, 2020 rolls around. But this was before the pandemic. Bernie won Iowa. The party said Pete Buttigieg won, even though he lost.
Coin flips, all that
Yep.
horse shit.
But
And then they had the
party kept
gall
saying
to
it.
do the whole Trump is fucking like, I cannot. Don't even get. I'm gonna have an aneurysm with this whole.
But that's
Iowa,
the
you've
point.
shocked the
No, let
nation.
him
I
cook.
can't.
No.
I
But
wanna
this is
hear
the
I
point
agree,
that
I
I'm getting
agree,
at
go
on
on.
it. Bernie won, but the narrative was Bernie lost to this nobody, this mayor from nowhere. And then he gets to New Hampshire. He wins. New Hampshire doesn't matter, actually. Then he wins Nevada. That doesn't matter, actually. The real contest is going to be South Carolina. And what happened in South Carolina? Obama and the entire Democratic establishment pulled every string they had to ensure Biden would win. And going into Super Tuesday, every challenger, with the exception of Bernie, backed Biden. And every single one of them was promised either a cabinet position or key legislation that they would get passed, like in the case of Warren, if they backed him. And they all did. And they all stabbed the public's favorite candidate, the one who had broad support with Republicans more than any other, without compromising their own base of support.
Yep.
And for what? And to put a cherry on top of all of that, I keep hearing the same narrative. All of you lived through the trade war of 2018. You all remember what Trump did. How could people be so foolish and vote for him again in 2024? We all lived through Obama. We all remember how much of a failure he was at building a political institution. Why did you vote for Biden to continue that legacy? It is the same coin. It's just, it's worded differently, and people in cities are being told that, oh, you're special, you've thought this through, but somehow the rural areas that you outnumber 4-1 beat you in the election. How?
Well, that's because liberals don't understand that the game that they're playing. They don't understand the board. They don't understand the rules. They don't understand the pieces. They're missing half the pieces. You know, that's why the states are set up in such a way that, you know, like such a small percentage of the population controls everything. Yeah, but they're just fucking, they're also lazy, and they're in their conformist little bubble where it's more fun to talk about things rather than actually get off their ass and do something.
If you are looking for a chart to help illustrate what it sounds like you're talking about, I will tell you there is one, I think still on Wikipedia, that changed my political life. And that is a simple mapping of the way counties voted in Michigan in 2016 in the Democratic primaries, and then the way counties voted in the general election. And every Democratic primary where Bernie won actually ended up going to Trump. It tells you so much.
People want change. Like,
yes,
people,
that's it exactly.
They just want change.
Don't understand. They don't understand politics, so they're only saying, okay, somebody's offering change.
They don't understand anything. I mean, Trump's offering change.
They'll go with the obvious lie every time.
Let me try it again. Everybody's offering change, and everybody says that every single time. But there's two candidates this time that the establishment is squawking about. I'm not going to listen to the reasons the establishment is squawking about them. I don't even understand the policy they're talking about because I'm American and I can barely put my pants on in the morning. But I do know that I want
suspenders.
Yeah, I think you nailed it exactly. I'm so glad Kowalski is doing this now. He's great. I love Kowalski.
Appreciate it.
You gonna have guests on, Kowalski? You gonna do anything live?
I don't think I'm gonna do anything live or do interviews or anything like that. There's a few videos I want to put out to just explain like a few things, and I'm not sure where I'm gonna take this from there, because there's just a lot of misconceptions with agriculture, and then there are these misconceptions with politics. Like, I just feel like there are a lot of people who do not understand how often they are the person in the cave in Plato's allegory, and don't really appreciate how easy propaganda is to manipulate a person. Like, you all know I'm in these spaces, right? Like,
I prefer this space singular.
Okay, this space. I've heard all the
It's
arguments.
confirmed he's getting show.
Clearly, my politics are pro-worker, pro-labor. That's who I am. I don't think you need to define my label any further beyond that. But just with how everybody is raised where I am, if you say socialist, if you say communist, it sends a weird little like signal in the back of your head. This is bad. I know it's not, but it's still there. It is a lingering effect of propaganda. It just sits there, and you got to work around it.
Jake, did you see the link to the Instagram video I put on our Discord earlier today where I said took the words right out of my old pal Jake's mouth?
No,
This
I'm
guy
sorry,
was
I didn't.
Talking about being around family on Thanksgiving, Christmas. I think it was a Christmas one. And he's just like, get all the scary words out of there, right? Don't tell him we should be communists because you're going to lose right away, right? Like, like the way
I just
he was
hate
doing
this
it.
idea that we have to treat Americans like they're fucking 4
Okay,
years old.
this is
Can't
what I
use
was saying
certain
about the fucking
words, you can't
podcast.
dress a certain way. You have to
This
have
is
your
what I
hair
was
a
saying.
certain way. It's
Why are
just,
we
I
still in
fucking
convincing
hate
stage
Americans. I hate these
endlessly?
liberal ass bitches, and I hate these fucking rural farmers who don't know what the fuck's going on because they listened to Glenn Beck for 50 years. Like, I mean, can you just trash the fucking tractor trailer into the fucking goddamn like whatever is some equivalent in the city?
I
I
feel
don't know.
it, buddy. I simultaneously acknowledge that it's our
Mm.
job to convince America, but I also am resentful that.
And
this
then all
job
these bitches
exists.
with personal responsibility, man. How about I just give me a fuck?
We-
I just hate
Dude,
them all.
the
I hate
president
this
is a
country.
diddler. This should be the easiest thing in the world to
He was a
suss
convicted
out.
rapist. He was impeached how many times? I mean, come on.
But look, hey, let's keep the spirit
And then
of this
these
thing going.
motherfuckers throw Biden on here, and
participated in a
Kamala Harris is
genocide.
gonna run again. Gavin Newsom is gonna run again. Oh man, I'm gonna run from this fucking country. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. This is fucking hell on earth.
Hey.
But even if they run, what will it matter? Say they win. What are they promising?
Exactly.
Nothing.
We got
That's
The
what
only
I'm
thing
saying.
Gavin Newsom
Revolution
can do
has
is
arrived.
cement Trump's legacy and then make it worse for the next run.
The
We hit a new
superpower-
bottom, and we never get all the way back up.
Well, it's
Listen,
that
I've been a
rationing
bottom for
effect.
some time now. I'm ready to top. Look, I think the superpower we have here is that we can sacrifice basically everybody in our party in terms of conversations. I don't like most Democrats. So I'm happy to say Trump sucks, and there's the obvious reasons why. And hey, Biden participated in a genocide for a full year. Send his ass to court too. That's murder that he participated in. I'm ready to wash our hands as a country of the entire political class.
I mean, look, if there was a note to end it on, let me ask you this, Kowalski. This is specific to farms. Do you ever hear any voices out there? Are there any kind of like shared paranormal things between, pilots always have a story about a UFO? Do farmers always have a story about crop spirits?
And he goes to multiple farms. There's no way.
I
you
remember
haven't
the
seen
last time Kowalski was
Dracula.
on the show. Matt
Did I
asked
ask
the same
that?
question. You asked the same question last time. Yeah.
What was the
Well,
answer?
give us the update then.
Yeah, Kowalski. What was the answer?
I mean, I don't think I've really ever experienced any paranormal thing. I mean, like sometimes you feel like you're being watched, but I mean, there's just
Okay,
wildlife
that's what I'm
out
talking
there.
about. So what does that feel
Elon's
like?
satellites are going to zoom in on you. They can see everything. Yeah.
What's it feel like to
You can see you jerking off in the cornfield.
How-
You're
how
not
is-
safe anywhere.
How is the sensation that you're being watched different from me? Like
Well,
a
like-
farm versus a neighborhood, or
I guess like if I feel like I'm being watched, I typically think it's probably because there's like a coyote or a mountain lion around.
Okay, yeah,
So like,
Terrifying.
interesting.
so I mean, like, there's probably like some sort of crossover where a lot of people confuse like, oh, the spirits are watching. No, it's probably that lizard part of your brain going, You know, you're completely vulnerable to an apex predator right now if you're not in like a social group of of like 4 or 5 that can fend this thing off.
You don't think they know you though? They don't see you often. I heard, I was reading a study about cockroaches, right? I'm in South Carolina. You need to know about these things. It turns out, because they see you more than you see them, it turns out they recognize you. They recognize individuals in the house.
Of course, yeah.
Well, a mountain lion and coyotes would probably view you as like a threat or a danger and would want to keep their distance. So like they're not going to view you as necessary prey, but I mean like if you get close to their cubs, they're going to view you as like
They're
know,
gonna
a
view you
potential
as like an
threat.
oyster. You're like a giant metal machine with some little juicy
They-
meat inside.
They look at you. If I'm
Good
reading
now.
you right, they look at you and say, if I had to, I could take him. I'm going to avoid it.
That is actually how a lot of predators view humans because it's like, yes, I could win, but he could probably do a lot of damage. It's like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
do you risk it? No.
You're never like, this sounds potentially totally inaccurate, but just for the sake of conversation, you're leaving the field. You never do that thing where you're like, huh? What was that? Somebody just said my name. Nothing ever like that.
If you
at
build
all.
it, they will come.
I
type
mean,
Nah, that's the corny version. but
you
you know what I
can,
mean.
I guess, like you can on like a windy day hear voices, but that's only because like people talking upwind that can travel for like 2 miles.
That's
that's spooky.
amazing.
It is
Wow.
actually kind of weird when that happens occasionally. So
That's
like,
why gossip in rural areas is so popular.
but I mean, that's a little more, manageable here where we have like no trees.
Here. That was good. Get it? Because it's pretty funny.
Well, Nebraska and the Dakotas and Kansas have the 3 lowest densities of trees in the nation. We have more trees now than when we colonized this place. So it's only like 7 or 8% coverage of the whole state.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
That
there's
is
just,
wild.
yeah. We need to plant more for windbreaks, but
I am a Michigander, sir. When I stand up on a hill and look down at the towns I live in, it's like looking at a forest that is occasionally dotted with a Starbucks.
oh, you might get
Trees.
this. What is the state tree of North Dakota?
Poplar?
No, it is the telephone pole.
That's good. That's good. Hey,
Yeah.
not bad. That's not bad.
high
I like
wind.
That.
I
gonna use
lived
that
in
later. Pretty good.
I lived in Colorado for over 20 years, and so my wife was talking to our old neighbor today on the phone.
The right wing one?
Yeah. And he said apparently he's very anti-Trump. I was like, I need to talk to this guy. But does that mean he's like pro JD Vance? I don't know. So
No.
but he was he let us know that in Colorado, because before we moved, December 2021, we moved in April of 2022, but previous Christmas there was a horrible fire because of dry conditions and strong winds. So now they had like 5 or 6 inch snow last month, but now it's incredibly dry and the winds are ripping, right? And it's like in the Boulder Valley. When I first moved there, I asked people, I worked in a warehouse yard and I had to go and ask people, is this fucking normal? Or is this like a hurricane? What's going on? They're like, this is normal. This is actually nothing. But like planks of wood blow by. So what the energy company is doing is rolling blackouts on purpose. It's like a controlled burn for blackouts because the winds will knock down power lines, dry conditions everywhere, fire in residential areas. But just imagine if all the podcasters and live streamers who are like the fuck happened? They're like, oh, it's because they're not giving anybody any real notice.
Well, you see, that's why you got to have a backup generator and use Starlink.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that way you can.
Is that what you're doing?
You can
I
back
actually
in.
do have Starlink because it is the cheapest way to get internet that is over 5 megs. So
I've got the generator. It's like the 3-way. You can hook it up to the gas line. It takes gas or it takes propane. So like bases covered, hopefully. And it's still in the box, so I'll just sell that fucker if I have to.
My
I mean, if you sell it
generator
during a
involves
power
having
outage,
to go get a tractor. So I would say keep your generator, especially given the state of FEMA at the moment.
yeah, we gotta keep it. Yeah.
Yo, my God, yeah.
And keep your propane tank full.
We're keeping
One
charcoal.
last thing I want to slip your way. What's something I can start communicating to the occasional farmer that stops by my channel? Since you seem to have a way with these folks, what's something I can communicate that will ahead of time, like tell them to look for ahead of time, so that they can see for themselves that the Republican Party doesn't give a shit about them?
Start by insulting the Democratic Party. Point
Easy.
out how their leadership is the same as just your average Republican Party member. And then point out people like, I would say like Bernie and Mamdani. Because like,
Okay.
for what it's worth, a lot of the people I've talked to in Kansas, they say the grocery store thing is a no-brainer. It works there.
And they're
So, like,
anti-establishment, which is very attractive to people who vote for populists.
there's also like one thing that's kind of interesting about like Mamdani is
Merry Christmas, by the way. It's Christmas.
oh,
Merry
nice.
Christmas, everybody.
I love Jesus Christ.
Good to know.
I feel like Andrea would be a much bigger fan of either Saturnalius or the Yule celebration. Just, different winter solstice.
They're okay. But honestly, I make up I'm so narcissistic. I have to make my own holiday. I can't just ride some coattails from a couple thousand years ago.
Wait, Rovenski Day is not a real thing?
I wouldn't call it that. There's too many unfortunate people with that name. I'd have to create.
I already went through with the bris.
Ooh.
See, Jake, you should have been a barber, dude.
Still could.
That's a reference to a part of the
You could
conversation.
be a
that
barber
Kowalski was
upwards
not
of 80
here
years
for.
old, I think. You could probably still pull it off. Multiple things off.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't dredge up that earlier conversation.
There's going to be a
Sorry.
lot of dredging up in that
It's a
career.
callback to somebody we should just let go.
It's a callback to stream of consciousness that I'm not even entirely clear what happened and what we imagined.
That's true. We got to go back and unlock.
I guess to kind of get back though to where I was telling you the advice for the farmer thing. I really
yeah,
think,
please.
I love
or
farmers.
like actually any Republican voter, always start the conversation off by insulting the Democrats. Insult Chuck Schumer, insult Nancy
Yes.
Pelosi, Hakeem
Yes.
Jeffries, the whole lot of them. Biden, I hate him. May he suffer in anguish. Don't care.
Shout
This
out
is
to
like
Dan.
I'm asking you how to lose weight, and you're like, start by eating all the candy you can possibly find. Okay, great.
It's actually
This
more
is-
like saying go get the amphetamines.
Yeah.
Here's a really good lead in. I've done this a lot. If people start saying you're not Republican, I go, no, but do not call me a liberal or I'm walking away from this fucking conversation. Like I always say something like that to be like, just so you know, we're on the same page. But you've been misled
Yeah, I'm a
by the media to
Republican.
believe
I'm a
otherwise.
Lincoln Republican. That's the kind of Republican.
No,
I mean, it
no,
eventually
you are a
comes down
John
to
Brown Republican. We know.
if you're
Hey.
racist and
Well,
I'm not,
yes.
this isn't gonna work.
I don't think John Brown would have liked the Republican Party. They're a little too liberal for him, I think.
Also, if you
That's what I'm
said you were a Lincoln Republican, they'd be like, "We're all on Grindr. Move on."
That's true.
But you were telling
just
us
crashed
real stuff
again.
that I need to know. Step one, you insult the Democrats.
Insult the
Done. Step two,
Democrats because that'll give them that will make them believe, oh, you're on my team. And then you need to point out obvious, clear flaws that are relevant to the Republican. So in the case of farmers and ranchers, Trump really botched that trade war with the soybeans, didn't he? He really screwed up with the whole Argentina bailout and then screwing the cattle guys over. Like, what was he thinking? These rich guys are all in it together. They
Rich
are out
guys.
against us.
Yeah, because I
And-
was gonna
Yeah.
say, is it not enough to just go, it's a fucking billionaire? Are they not the problem?
It's just
here?
like playing with a dog. You just got to dangle the toy. Yeah, Democrats are bad. Democrats are bad.
all voters.
And get
Yeah.
the pill.
Yeah.
It's
And then
pathetic these people.
I would try to build like, you're a worker, I'm a worker. We might disagree on a few social issues, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're both being robbed here. We need the working class standing united against the wealthy because they're horrible for the Democrats. They're just as bad with the Republicans. Clearly, we need to go with something else. So,
here's my tip for talking to Republicans. You got to convince them. Actually, Democrats hate black people too. Here's a list of reasons, and you know.
So I do think it's interesting that you said leave it there, though, because that's also crucial. Knowing when to stop and let them marinate on something. And when I say them, I want to be clear. It's whoever you're disagreeing with politically. But yeah, knowing when to stop and let folks marinate is key. I don't have a sense of that, but I'll try to develop it.
You are a shepherd leading the flock to calm water and green grass. They have to chew. They have to drink on their own. Just take them there and see what they do.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kowalski.
I'm a shepherd, by the way.
It's a wonderful Christmas gift. I've specifically made jokes about how I have been, as my barber shears me like a sheep. Weird that we keep going to flocks in this show. Matt, I'm sorry. I jibber jabbered.
See, I do not get haircuts. I walk into the fire and I just come out and I look like this.
That's fair. I mean, haircuts are a scam anyway. It's a scam.
And you said there was no supernatural aspects to farms. This sounds crazy cool. Like there's a pit out back. Oh, well, there is a pit out back where it's not a fountain of youth. It's more like a pool of lava of youth. Great haircuts. And I don't age.
He's joking about cutting
you
his
become
hair.
youthful in the sense that before you were born, you were nothing. And if you go in the pool of lava, you also become nothing once again. So you're going back in time.
That's true. It's a very spiritual way to disintegrate. He's joking about cutting his hair with fire, though. I actually did try to get rid of my belly hair with a Zippo, and the whole apartment stunk like a dead cat for a couple of days.
Could you explain? I'm going to need, first of all, I'm going to need to know what public schools you went to and how they failed. I'm going to need to, but after all of that.
Right in high school, I didn't attend.
Well, you got a lighter and said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn my belly hairs off. Or was it like, I got a lot of belly hair. How can I deal with this? Oh, razor blade. I got a lighter right here. Like, what came first? What was the first impulse?
Well, I've shaved it before, but it's like trying to cut your way through a jungle with a machete.
Right.
Just it's growing back practically as fast as I'm cutting it off. Then it leaves razor burn all over, and I don't want that close. I just don't want the filth sweat from under my sweater to collect and pool towards my cavernous belly button. We're asking for mold trouble.
It gets rough in there. I get it. Yeah.
So
you decide to brush fire later. Yeah.
It's a bunch of artist painters who this is purely a social media thing. It's like Instagram, TikTok thing where let's say it's like an elaborate painting of somebody with this brilliant, like shiny sword. They'll do the sword and then tape it off, paint the rest of it, and they'll light the tape on fire and it reveals the sword in like a burst of flame. Or sometimes it'll be like rays of light behind them and going in all different directions. And when they light it on fire, it goes like torches the tape and reveals the painting.
That sounds amazing.
It's pretty cool. It's like gimmicky, but I don't know why not. You got to get the tape off.
Moment, yeah.
Burn it. It's cool. Okay, so here's the thing, Kowalski. You're in a wide open area, but it's small, right? Population wise, do people know you as like? Are people like, dude? How can you be a farmer and vote Democrat? People have that like attitude, or are you in line with people at the election day who are like, know who you're voting for?
Well,
idiot.
I do mostly mail-in voting because during the primaries it is planting season, and then during the general it's harvest season. So
I love they have mail-in in Nebraska.
Yeah, if they got rid of mail-in voting here, there would be like it would like just disenfranchise farmers. Just like broadly speaking, most farmers would not be able to vote. Nobody's gonna
Travel time. The
Well,
amount
I mean,
of
it
time
makes
would take.
sense.
I mean, yeah,
You can't
like
be away.
well, the travel time's one thing, but like when harvest is underway, are you really going to want to stop a crew of like 7, 8 people from doing their job so you can go vote?
So you don't have people talking poorly about or lying about the downsides of mail-in. It's cheating there.
I mean, our local politicians aren't against that. In fact, that is something that somebody who's quite opinionated with that I talk to almost every harvest. He always talks about how like, like the 2020 election was rigged. Like not even Nebraska was spared. And I was like, you can just go talk to the county clerk. Like she'll tell you like, no, how are we supposed to like rig this? That would be impossible. And I mean, frankly, it practically speaking is impossible to rig these elections. One of the funny things, I was at a GOP convention back in like 2022, maybe
Most
it was 2021.
right-wing member of the show tonight. Most right-wing.
Oh, you got
Yeah, okay, fine.
Absolutely. 100%.
So when I was there, though, there is a ballot counting company, or one of those companies that would count up the ballots that is based out of Omaha. They weren't the Dominion voting machines; they were another one. And a person had heard a conspiracy that those things got hacked and were rigged. And our Secretary of State, who was speaking at the convention, had to assure her that he knew that the ones out of Nebraska were definitely not rigged, but could not say confidently if the Dominion ones were. And this was before the big lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's when I kind of realized that a lot of the leadership isn't quite understanding what the general base is up to, because like, if the base is drinking the Kool-Aid and you don't understand that the base is drinking the Kool-Aid, you probably don't want to be stroking any of those misconceptions of reality, because you're not going to be able to control what happens after that. I honestly, I kind of think that's how Jan 6 kind of happened. Like, I don't think any of the leaders thought that those people were going to storm the Capitol building. It's just they really should have understood that it was a very likely thing given what everybody was saying. So at least for what it's worth, I don't think there's much organization on either the Democrat or the Republican side for a long-term project. So,
well, the long-term project is the collapse of America, and then the billionaires are going to buy everything up and create their little small dome cities.
I don't think they're intentionally doing that. I think it's just a consequence of their actions. I don't think they're smart enough to do it. It's just the natural flow of how that's going to go down. And I mean, biggest examples of how that went: collapse of the Soviet Union. Like,
I've been talking about that a lot.
They bought everything
lately.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
that's actually a weird. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say a weird rabbit hole that you could fall down when reading about the collapse of the Soviet Union. If George H.W. Bush had won re-election in '92, the world would have been a better place.
Whoa.
Bush.
I actually.
That's the
director of the CIA.
Thanks a lot, Ross Perot.
The director of the CIA and the guy who was
Iran-Contra.
Yes, but that was because he loved America more than anything. Like for what it's worth, George H.W. Bush was probably the last statesman we ever had as president. And like, you can be a good statesman or a bad statesman, but a statesman is a person who's looking towards like a decades-long forecast of where he wants the country to go. His plan was a controlled collapse of the Soviet Union and slowly bringing them into the globalized system. When Clinton got into office, he had no idea what he was doing. He could not hold the wealthy in check. And that is what caused the pillaging of Eastern Europe, which basically led to Putin. You can look into a lot of things where George H.W. Bush did not want that to happen. because he thought that it would end up creating a resentful Russia down the line, which would inevitably regain some form of power and become a threat on the East again. Had George H.W. won, we would be in a whole different world.
Counterpoint, Clinton might have said couldn't, or let people believe couldn't, but I'm of the belief that he is a neoliberal through and through. However, the point is still the same, and it's fascinating. Where did you see this? I wanna look at this as well.
I'd have to look into it. Basically, it's
I'll Google it.
Look into how he was working with the Chancellor of Germany at the time in order to do the reunification of Germany, along with the loans that they were giving to the Soviet Union. Because
there's just a few months old documentary about this guy, George H.
Interesting.
He's an interesting guy. Yeah, honestly, he would have been better than Clinton because, again, we wouldn't have agreed with him politically, but Bush was a through and through, wanted the American empire to be the thing on top and recognized that you cannot have corporate power competing with the state. He was against that completely. It is a weird paradigm to look at, but he despised rich people thinking they should have more power than the government. It's just his nature of looking at imperialism.
On a related, also he got bullied a lot. He was a guy that was bullied all the time, and all right,
fair.
A larger point.
He was a rich man. I don't care.
Yeah, I know, same. But I mean, you see how even the rich hold resentments, like with Trump demanding his name get put on. That doesn't matter. I am of the belief that the Cold War is currently ending. That it did not end in 91 like we believe and are told. That was the first half of the ending. The second half is American collapse. And I don't think that the Cold War began to end with the fall of the Soviet Union because of communism, but rather the same thing that's currently affecting America, which is blind adherence to ideology without understanding that ideology. In the Soviet Union, you would say, well, I'm doing this because communism, without knowing what communism is. Here, it's the same thing nowadays, but I'm doing this because capitalism. But you don't actually know what capitalism is. And in reality, in the real world, you don't blindly adhere to ideology. Ideology is used to describe things that work. So if you're if you're trying to make all your plans based on other things, based on what some knowledgeable seeming person says is your ideology, of course, you're just giving all of your power over to those supposedly genius people. But I think it's our blind adherence to and the ideology of capitalism right now. And I think it's going to be solved when people come to understand, yes, capitalism makes sense for a lot of things. It makes no sense for others. It doesn't make sense to have a privatized version of policing or roads or doctors or school, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's
the other side of America anyway.
There's just quickly, the only other point I personally had about talking to people who currently don't vote for the libs, right, or whatever that means, or commie Democrats and all the bullshit they've been sold, they respond well to you being able to quickly and easily explain things like healthcare, like universal healthcare. And I always go back to, I mean, you could always just say like, hey, did you know there's primaries? You can vote for the right guy, and that would, you don't have to worry about lesser of two evil thing. But like, I always go back to this conversation where I was in Walmart and I was just in an aisle looking at stuff, and this guy was on the phone. He was upset and he got off and he goes, man, these insurance companies suck. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice if the money that you paid right now that they took out of your check for insurance came out of your taxes instead, and then when you went to the doctor, you didn't have to pay anything? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's what they mean by universal healthcare, basically. And the guy was like, why aren't we doing that? And I was like, yeah, right. Because the rest of the civilized world does.
And you weren't even giving them best case scenario. The money you're paying right now, only it's less money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and oh, and by the way, when more young people are on the plan not using it, it's more affordable for the old people who definitely need to use it, right?
The
Like there's
argument I
all
always
these
like going back to, especially with like people in rural areas, we have to have subsidized hospitals. Otherwise, it
Yeah.
just doesn't work. We don't have the density
Right.
for it. But one important thing to always remember, you actually, with a universal healthcare system like Medicare for All, means less bureaucracy. There is no longer private bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Like, think about the literally thousands and thousands, maybe even like I don't know how many people work in the whole health insurance across all the
it's
companies.
a lot.
Over
And it's their job
2.2
is
million.
nothing. They have
Oof.
no job. Like,
Yep,
imagine like you
they-
wake up every day, you go to work, and you do nothing. Like they do
Yeah.
not contribute to society.
They
They
trade
like, it's
create
just-
paperwork so they can charge you. For
It is bureaucratic headache paperwork where they are
garbage.
trying to charge hospitals an arbitrary amount of money. And then it goes through a completely fictitious system of payment structures of, oh, this is what you need to charge people out of pocket. And then the hospitals have an entire other roster where they go, well, this is what it actually costs. So if these people are poor, we can't actually charge them this. We'll charge them this. And then, we have to write this off on our taxes. All of that just goes away.
It is a
All of
whole
that
Just
headache.
industry.
imagine if we had 2.2 million people that we just gave them a job. Now we have 2 million people working in the workforce doing a real job for the real country instead of
We
whatever the
need
fuck that shit is.
seawalls. Like we
Yeah,
need
like, what the
seawalls
fuck?
so bad.
It is an
I think-
entire industry of busy work, and the only product it produces is American death.
And anxiety.
Useless.
The beautiful thing is that once everyone has health care, you no longer have to put up with bullshit at your job, because if you lose your job, you lose your health care. So like, I think that it would be because
Liberating.
yeah, and like Etch makes a good point. I always say this about, you could say this about ICE. It's like, oh, well, people are going to be out of their job now. What are you going to do? Right. And like, that's the reason to try and like normalize it and not reform it or not get rid of it. But the real thing that they're afraid of is that we will be liberated and we will be empowered through getting out from under the fear. And that's why they say people don't want to lose their health care. No, yeah, you're right. We don't want to lose our health care. But that's not why we're not fighting universal health care because we love the plan we have at the job. Fuck that. That's ridiculous. And like, you're talking about a small percentage of people, if anything. Once you, and that's sort of why, healthcare is like the first, that's priority one in a lot of cases. When I ask people like, how would you prioritize policy? What do you think is most important? It's like, just get everyone healthy. You stop worrying about what if I get sick. You stop worrying about my kid's health, right? And you stop worrying about that tooth that's been bugging you for months and you're putting it off. You stop worrying about all that. You address it. It automatically, I mean, come on, it's health. It automatically improves your life to the point where
about this shit, man. I don't
where
know.
you can hold it over your employer and be like, fuck you, man. I don't need to put up with this bullshit. And it might not happen immediately, but I think eventually it becomes a situation where employers are like, hey, what do I got to do to keep you happy? Versus, you better fucking keep me happy as your employer.
I think
else no
ultimately most Americans like being slaves. They like having the employer-employee relationship. They like the boss like covering over them and fucking breathing down their neck because they don't know how to be free. They don't know how to think for themselves.
Not the real ones. We got to focus on the real ones. Do you know what I mean by that? If somebody says you're a real one,
never surrender to nihilism. We believe in shit. So
I hope.
Yeah.
Like healthcare is one thing that I will always defend, like Medicare for all. That needs to happen. I will not compromise on that position. I do not care. I understand.
I think Medicare for all is a compromise. Like, we got to do
it
a
is
lot
a compromise,
more to make people healthy.
But it's also a compromise that can get you a lot of allies too, because a lot of doctors and nurses also would appreciate it, because there are a lot of doctors actually are disproportionately higher on the taking their own lives chart. I don't want to get you guys
No, you're
banned
right.
or whatever. And it is because they have a lot of
They have high rates
anxiety.
of gun ownership. Let's just put it that way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's because they took an oath to save lives, and now some guy in a building in another state is telling them, you have to charge this amount of money or kick them out of the hospital. And the doctor knows, if I do this preventative treatment, it will save them money, time, extend their quality of life. They'll get to be there for their children. They'll get to be able to contribute to their community. They know all of the positives, but are being forced by a bureaucrat in an authoritarian institution of private insurance to condemn that person to suffering. It makes no sense.
Okay, dude, it's time to put up. I'm seeing all these comments. What's my job in your administration? You're not going to be like, oh, I'm the president and forget about the Letterhack, right? Like, you're going to call me with something, right? Do I get to work in the White House kitchen? What is it?
I
That
don't
would be
think
good.
I
Okay.
would want to be president, to be honest.
Hey, that's why you should be.
Make me
Okay,
secretary
we're
of
doing
ag.
it like the lottery.
That would be more of my like. Make me secretary of ag, and you can be one of my spokespeople.
All right,
But,
fine. I'll be president.
I'll be
Fine.
Aggie, the secretary or the Department of Agriculture mascot.
Aggie.
Here's
That's a good one.
Here's why, like, I really do want to live in a world where presidents don't choose themselves. Like, what did Beto O'Rourke say? I was born for this? Apparently not.
Shout out
like-
to that guy, man.
But
He's doing
like,
great.
we pick them and we go, look, man, you always show up. You're sensible. You're a great leader. Your management skills are off the charts. Great project organizer. You be it. And that would be great. But you could also have folks like myself that are like, no, I'll fucking do it because I'll take the responsibility. I'll take the heat. I'll weather all that shit and I will surround myself. And I'm not talking about like Ross Perot, if anybody remembers that. I will
Shout out.
surround myself with actual fucking experts who can get shit figured out and done. And at the end of the day, it's on me, right? Like if it goes wrong, you're all fine. I'm not going to blame you. I'll take the heat. Like that's the kind of leader I want to see.
That would be
forget. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say that one of the reasons I thought Bernie in 2020 could have been the most pivotal president of our generation is because we know that he would have offered head of propaganda. He would have proposed a very big, like, Green New Deal policy, pretty much guaranteed, right? And what happened when we did like the bare minimum infrastructure under Biden? We got pushback from what's her bucket in Arizona and what's his bucket in West
Manchin.
Virginia. Yeah,
Yeah.
Manchin and Sinema.
Jesus.
Bernie's response to that would not have been condemnation in the news. It would have
Right.
been going to both of those states, getting 50,000 people riled up into a crowd,
Shame them.
and shutting down the capital city of those states. And this
That
Why
would have
didn't he
been
do that anyway, though? Even if he wasn't president.
even he was a senator. He wasn't the president. If the
Yeah, but
president goes out and commits himself to basically doing a general strike in a state,
Way
guess
bigger.
what?
Yeah.
No National Guard's coming to shut that thing down. You've been federalized. Stand to the side.
See,
The president could do that.
why
And
don't they?
It
It's
works
so
with the
obnoxious.
conservatives' view of the unitary executive theory. He's the president. He can just do it. So if they want to make that legal argument, they have to either neuter the presidency, which, okay, cool, or it goes through. It's the catch-22 of putting too much power into the hands of one person.
I forgot to mention earlier, I'm interning for the Krampus tonight. So I'm going to have to skedaddle.
I got to go too.
Yeah, we probably should
Oh
go
shit!
soon.
They're
So-
dropping like flies.
It's 12:27 a.m. on the East Coast. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas. This space is on air tomorrow. We'll have stuff going
Tomorrow,
on.
I will be playing all 4 of the A War on Christmas quadrilogy, the
Yeah.
4 Doom clone shoot 'em ups where I murder thousands of Santa Clauses for 4 hours straight tomorrow at 1 p.m. if you also hate Christmas because you're someone with an IQ above 50, and so therefore you know Christmas is a scam, show up and check it out.
All right.
Just real quick, it's bottom up, not left and right. That's another one. That's another talking point when you're talking to conservatives or Republican voters. You say
Rock bottom, and then
we don't do these marching
turn it
orders
up.
left, right. We do bottom up. Andrea, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to tune in and watch. Are you saying people can jump on stream with you and play, or is this?
I'm going to be playing the game. I'm open maybe if I get bored. If you want to come on and do.
I thought I was. Never mind.
You can.
I thought I was supposed to be doing commentary while you played.
You could. Do you want to? I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
If you want,
I'm going to show up.
Sure.
Does Kowalski know Andrea is a speed run champion record holder?
I'm a champion.
I think I've heard that.
That's why I was like, maybe you don't want people mucking it up.
Well, I'm not going to be speed running them per se. I'm going to be taking it slow and showing everyone how great it is and how I am the best level designer of all time. I am the Jesus Christ of level designers. And so as a result, I will be celebrating my birthday tomorrow, or today actually, by showing everyone my levels design.
Thanks for coming on, Kowalski. We'll have Sandee Shellis of Environmental and Political Coffee House.
She's she was out tonight. We did not mention that at all, but she's
we didn't.
She's not feeling well as a result of a physical injury of some kind. But she can go into that if she wants. But so we're holding the fort for her. We got Kowalski on here to replace. This is kind of like, Trump's in office, so we got a DEI situation, reverse DEI. So we got rid of the woman to get the white man on here. So
they found the stock image of a stereotypical Midwestern farmer.
So and you're doing your part, So thank you.
Well, that's why we asked him all the political questions, because now maybe people will finally listen. Now that a white man is saying it, and from Nebraska, people will be like, "What? I've never heard this before."
Wow, this is like, how come no one else has been saying this? This is the first I'm hearing of it. That's awesome.
Bernie, who? I'm sorry.
How come no one told me sooner?
We live in hell.
No, I really do appreciate you coming on. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, thank you for the invite.
Yeah, if you want to come on my show, if you want to come back on here, anytime. I mean, there's got to be some downtime for you, and
this is the slowest time of the year for me. I honestly, there's a weird thing where it's easier for me to check my emails on my computer. Not all of my emails show up. I checked my phone. Your email was there. I have no idea. None at all.
Conspiracy.
So
weird.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'd come on your show if you want to do an interview or something with like just focused on like maybe the ag economy or something, because it's a doozy.
No, dude. I've got an interview designed and being refined every time I do it to get the most well-rounded perspective possible. So it's questions that you'll never see coming. But it's like, here's an example, okay? Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. See, but that's like a whole thing.
No,
so
dogs are like the answer though.
Correct.
Yeah, I know, but then from there
question.
It's like, but in line with the rest of the interview questions, I think we come out with a very well-rounded perspective. You know what I mean?
Not really, but
Matt's not really making a great. He's not really defending his point. Jake's really desperate to leave. He's trying desperately. He's been trying to end the show for hours now. He's ever since we showed up.
He did a Jake goodbye.
Yeah,
a Jake goodbye. That was good.
Yeah.
Jake.
All right, guys.
Hi. As in,
parappa pum pum.
Ooh.
Jingle all the way.
Yikes.
Whatever else they say. Christmas. Happy New Year. Anyway, thanks for coming on.
We'll be doing a New Year's next year. Now that's a real holiday. That's a real one. I can understand the New Year holiday.
We'll be on for New Year's Eve, and I think we're going to open it up to all the other This Space hosts who are around.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Maybe there's like one or two that I'm just going to veto at the last minute and say,
sorry, Jake, you didn't make the cut.
Yeah, Jake's he's kind of on here.
Andrea will just have everyone but the regular host of Left Past 10.
And honestly, Matt, every time he shows up, he just tells the same story every time. So
I haven't told those stories tonight. I actually did tell
you
the one
asked
about
Kowalski
healthcare
the
and
same
Walmart.
question. You know, he's been on the show twice, and you haven't.
But I ask
Maybe
all
it's
farmers that.
changed.
That's
I ask
true.
all farmers
That's
that.
true.
Maybe he's.
And you
thought about
never
it,
know.
yeah.
Maybe he's built the baseball field by now, so it's possible that
The next time I come on
here.
here and it's, this space, there's going to be a dream catcher behind me and I will have a better elaborate story concocted. It'll be
That's
a whole
great.
thing.
You need to
I
start
just
building the
imagine-
background story now. You know. So.
Just imagine getting like an email like, Matt, it happened, dude. Bring me on. I
You
want to
were
talk
right.
about it. It's like, no, Kowalski, call the national news. What are you doing? Don't.
The
Well,
wind
no,
spoke
this
to
is a
me.
good scoop.
Turns
We're
out
gonna-
the wind is really into collectivizing agriculture. It could be weird.
Wow.
I'm going to go drink more scotch. I got some 18-year Glenlivet this morning from my wife. And I didn't have very much beforehand because I didn't want to be wasted. But now the gloves
Now
are
it's time
off,
to
so
get
I'm going to go do
wasted.
that.
You've
All
been
right.
yearning
You
to
guys
get
have a
wasted.
good night. I'm heading out. So.
Take care, everybody. We'll see
All
you.
right.
Andrea, good luck with the
Are you showing up? Is that what that is? I play with a keyboard. I'm not playing with a thumb.
with the clickety clackety.
So you're showing up for a moment?
Um,
We're
I got a plan.
having this weird stream layout. We're gonna be doing this in a little bit of a strange way.
Oh, okay.
But I
One of these
think it'll
jobs?
work. Well, no.
Maybe more
you'll
like
see.
this.
It'll be a little bit like this. Now this is more like what I was thinking.
We should have
Actually,
a
yeah.
whole show like this and just be like, oh shit, we haven't looked up.
Ah, yeah. Now this is the best show. When I'm
I
not
do have a concept for a show I want to run by you. So let's end this and I'll quickly
Let's
do
end
that.
this and then we'll get to the real show. I noticed, by the way, you took the scarf off. That was a good choice.
Matt, appreciate that.
Just for reference context being applied.
Matt, appreciate that. Matt, appreciate that.
I love Israel.